Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of D&D brought to you by Battle Cry or Die. We thank you for joining us, those of you who have, both of you. So thanks, Mom and Dad, for our stream.
I always count on Mom.
No, just kidding. Only Dad, because Mom has Alzheimer's. Sorry, really dark way to start.
Yeah.
Just kidding, guys.
Starting off strong.
That might be some foreshadowing about how the session tonight's going to go.
No.
Episode 12. That episode.
Had a couple of bad episodes already. Not sure if we're all.
Okay, so for those of you who didn't join us last time, essentially our party discovered that a particular couple of council members, part of the Council of Waterdeep, that is specifically speaking, might have some ties into dragon cult activity. And also found that upon their arrest, some of their items had been confiscated, and found that these particular politicians had acquired their items. And so decided to go and get them back. And in the process of found that this one particular building that they had gone into, which is a small building utilized for like political meetings or whatever, attached to a piece of property that also holds a mansion, a rather large mansion, 8,000 square foot to be exact, with 2 floors and a lot of rooms, that these particular council members were housed at the time. So they decided to go in and reacquisition their things, and upon their exit, essentially made the roof of the building collapse. Rip Kidron's elk, who happened to be leaning against the back door. Anyways, reacquired their items and are now making their escape into the night. So essentially, the directions that we are heading, Skadric is driving the cart with Atlas safely in the back, heading west towards the High Lady's hideout. Roland has flown up into the sky, attempting to get a bearing on where Atlas and Skadric were heading, and Ricard and Kidron have headed south, seemingly with the image of just Kidron and Ricard's pseudo-dragon flying along. So, she's going to bed. So, yeah. I'll step away in a minute and go say goodnight to her or whatever. Anyways, so that is where we left off.
Who's this strange person?
Wow.
Right. My apologies, everyone. Joining us tonight is my brother. That is why I don't have my green screen up, for one, and also I changed the configuration of my desk and such. But yeah, so this is Daniel. He's super fun. He's a pretty cool guy, and also enjoys D&D and has a bit of experience playing. A little bit. So he's going to sit in for a little while, and depending on what kind of NPCs pop in and out, might actually join you guys as an NPC for a time.
Might get to come along for a while.
As long as he's not trolling.
That would be
That'd be a
awkward.
little awkward.
Hey,
It's a bit awkward.
I was going to see that right there.
Would that create some distaste?
It's just it's our first interaction, and it's like, oh,
Give me just a second. My apologies. I need to step away for just a moment. I'll be
All
right
right.
back.
We'll go take a little bit of
You know what?
break.
In the meantime,
We can talk.
You're
No,
gonna,
you're good.
We're gonna talk.
We can-
So yeah, in the meantime, I'd like the record to show that my party left me at the cart while they found 10,800 pieces
Okay.
of gold,
For-
or rather,
Okay,
items worth
we
of
didn't
it.
get our story in this.
Okay.
I'm not sure what
okay,
it's
it's- hold on.
Yeah, I'll let you make
off,
your cases.
It was 10,008.
Hey, I
Second
keep
off-
trying to help you guys
hold
out,
on,
and you won't
hold
let
on.
me.
Second off, there was no cart. And third off, that was your agreed upon job. Without
Okay,
Look
you
out.
take what?
because
I guess.
nobody
You
was
did
going to
agree to
haul
it.
you around.
Who was gonna have to haul me around? I could have walked with you guys.
No,
he
we
told-
went in before you got up.
Yeah, we
Like,
got
this
in.
had to happen before
Yeah.
you woke up.
So
Yeah.
you guys just assumed that Atlas just kind of
No.
sat on his ass.
No,
David told us
we
that you were
knew.
guard shift. Like, right,
You need to have a
So-
sit down, drink, and talk with your DM who
Yeah,
decided all that. For
need
you.
a few drinks so that way I can figure something.
And so we were like, okay, he's not going to be up until like the end of the guard shift, so it didn't make sense for us to wait for you to wake up. So we went in, thought we were going to go in and get the stuff and leave, right?
Yeah.
But we went down into like this,
Yeah.
what would you call it? Like a, not really,
It was a cellar. It was like a,
yeah, it was
a
like
hidden
a
cellar.
very small,
Yeah.
like 15 by is it 15 by 15?
Yeah.
So we're in there, like 3 of us fighting 2 guys in the most cramped environment ever. And
He's floating in between a fucking table and the ceiling.
And so we kill one guy, the other guy, Scott Hughes whole person on, and then we were gonna interrogate him, but then apparently there was like an alarm, so we had other guards coming, so we had to like get our stuff, grab what we could, and then make an escape. And so didn't really have time to figure out.
So did
What
you
you-
guys successfully escape, or is it still happening?
We think we're possibly in the clear. I don't think we're
I'm
I
pretty
think the
sure.
phrase would be "We're fleeing the scene."
correct.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you and I are safe.
It sounds
the
like you
way
guys need the help of your trusty artificer.
Sure. On the way out, Ricard yelled something along the lines of "down with the dragon cult." So we just blew up a government building and then made a large statement to people passing by. Uh,
Say something. You say it like that. It
sounds like
we're-
terrorism.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Is
how-
it terrorism or is it freedom fighting? Roland,
Depends We're just we're gonna
There's a fine line.
And
it depends on whether or not we kill innocents. That's the answer. Okay.
That's fair. That's fair.
if they
There you
don't
go.
for the
I
dragon
like
cult,
that.
easily spin it that we killed 2 guards who were just minding their own business.
Nope.
I mean, it depends on who's telling the story.
They,
So-
they were at the very least too stupid to let live. Okay.
Yeah, they were saying
Yeah. There was. Yeah.
they were talking about spending our money right
Yes.
before we walked in there, so they kind of crossed the line with that.
That's true.
And they also talked about killing somebody, a girl who they didn't trust anymore, and
Yeah.
Roland assumed it was Trallum. So they're dead.
But Atlas knows none of this
yes, Atlas knows none of this yet.
yet.
Oh, we're not probably gonna tell them about the killing part, right? We're gonna leave that part
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. We're not talking
Nah,
about
I'll kill
killing.
No,
Yeah,
I'll tell
for-
him about it.
I don't care. See, this is the thing. He's never cared if you guys kill people.
So see, Atlas was backup. He was Plan C. So Plan A was to do all the shit the way we planned it. Plan
Correct.
B was to do what we could and run.
Pretty much
Plan
what
C
we
was
did.
to fight and kick everybody's ass.
Well, hopefully
right.
we're at
Atlas
Plan
was
C,
part
so
of
that way I'm
Plan
gonna.
C. We're on Plan B still now.
That's right. Yeah, we're
We're
still
just
rolling.
and we're
We're on
David, let's
dispersed.
get a
B.
Plan C.
No, we don't want to go to Plan C. Plan C is bad.
Atlas just
And
wakes
then
up and just says,
wake up
Plan
and
C.
Or-
Yeah,
Is it
I'm
Plan
gonna
C?
make Plan C.
Yeah.
Who all was shouting about the shouting the political propaganda? As you guys were leaving, it was
That was
just Ricard.
I rolled a very high stealth check, so I was hoping I got away through the smoke that was leaving the door.
I was invisible.
Oh, you were invisible?
Oh yeah, I'm invisible.
So
I didn't even see him. They just heard someone say it.
Yeah,
So
I think
Keegan,
yeah.
Keegan there with his hands.
yeah. I'm just like running. There's this voice, and then I'm gonna think it's me.
Yeah.
That one elf guy with the
Oh, that
the antlers.
4'9" elf right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the antlers on his head.
They're gonna see the paladin and they're gonna be like, "Oh, obviously somebody is a bad guy harming this paladin. The paladin's trying to save the day because he's a paladin."
Right.
He was like the town drunk that only sees the pseudo dragon, and here's the voice.
Right.
Oh god,
Not again.
I think I picked
Yeah.
a bad time to quit drinking.
It's a cat running away from a rat.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay. So first things
So-
first, Roland, I need you to make a perception roll.
Oh no. Okay, first
Yo.
natural one of the night, guys. Here it goes.
Here we go.
Also, Roland, look in Discord chat. I posted a link to that idol you asked about. Sorry.
Oh. Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
The adventure begins. Battle cry
It's
or
a,
die.
it's a pretty, it's a
19.
pretty cool,
Nice.
pretty cool idol. Had to go through a whole TV series to win. Like,
Oh, okay.
Legends
it,
of the Hidden
Britain?
Temple. Oh, what?
Was it British? Was it the British idol? Or...
all right, 19's not bad. Okay, so you're looking around or whatever, and you're checking to see which last time you rolled a 1. So upon your ascent, ascending up into the clouds of smoke or whatever, the smoke billowing now so thickly that you couldn't see anything. And so, but as you make your way up to a certain altitude, you begin to, the smoke begins to thin and disperse because of the light breeze blowing at night, and it's twilight out, and so the stars are shining, et cetera, and so some of the smoke disperses, and you then are able to kind of glance around the town or whatever. Now, as you're looking, the buildings at this point are at this height, are fairly small, but not, they're not tiny. They're just it's just creating the perception that they're a little smaller than normal. And as you're looking around, you're checking, westward, eastward, all the various directions to see if you can see Skadric and Atlas riding off, and you see 3 different carts that are riding off into the distance. One of them is heading south. It's on the street just west of your current location, heading southward. You see one cart that is heading westward, and then a second cart that is south of the first westward cart that is heading west by southwest, essentially making its way, weaving through the city streets. And so those are the 3 carts that you see. Make an intelligence roll.
Okay.
Okay.
16.
Okay, so given the information or whatever that you've seen, 2 of the carts, the one cart heading southward and the other cart that is heading westward, both have only 2 people in them. The other cart that is heading west by southwest only has 1 person riding in it.
Okay.
So, given that information, the other thing that you note is one of the carts has somebody sitting in the back, whereas the other cart, the southward cart, has both people sitting on the bench that are directly behind the horse.
Okay.
right.
So you
So
said,
Kidron,
oh.
I'm sorry. Kidron and Ricard, go ahead and make perception checks. And while they're doing that, go ahead, roll it.
So I was just trying to see, would I know where, I guess, Ricard's shop is and where the High Lady's, I guess, headquarters is?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. One cart was when you said south,
Yeah,
One-
one cart headed south,
the other one was headed which way? I'm sorry.
west.
West. Okay, which way is the High Lady's
It is west from where you are.
and Ricard's family's shop is to the south?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to locate Skadric and Atlas. I would assume his first instinct would be, I would think he would just kill some Dragon Cult people, supposedly. That's, I guess, the assumption we were making. So he'd probably go to the person who would know the most about that right now, just to, like, let them know things, I would think. I think Ricard would, if he went somewhere, he would go to the shop. But I'm trying to locate Skadric, so I'm going to trust that the one going westward would be where he is. I'm going to go in that direction to see if I can get a better idea of who's on that cart.
Okay. Yeah, sure thing. Okay. So Ricard and Kidron, as you guys are traveling southward, you're running down the street side, which I imagine that, you guys would run far enough so as to be away from the scene of the incident, and then would slow your pace so as not to draw suspicion. In my mind, you guys have a decent intelligence that you guys would be able to think of that.
Question.
Or- Uh-huh.
I rolled a 23 on perception. What is the given the time of night? How many people are on the streets that we're traveling here?
There are not many. There's only a
Not
few.
many.
So,
So we're Well, I would definitely try and like slow the pace and try and have my pseudo dragon visually slow Kedron so he doesn't run off ahead of us. If we are the only ones on the roadway, and try and find some manner of conveyance that would speed us along faster without being quite so obvious, right?
yeah, certainly. So as you guys are looking around, Kidron, you're pretty focused on just getting there. And now that, Ricard is invisible or whatever, it's beginning to, it's kind of beginning to maybe make a wisdom saving throw real quick. So you're looking around as you're headed southward or whatever, and you don't see Ricard anywhere, and you only see a couple of people on the street, right? And they're probably like 100 yards or so from you in the direction you're running. There's like one couple kind of traveling down the street or whatever, and then there are only a couple other people on the street as well. But Ricard is nowhere to be seen. So you start to feel a little panicky, but then you see and remember that Ricard has a pseudo dragon or whatever, and the pseudo dragon is there, and so that as long as the pseudo dragon is there, Ricard can speak to it telepathically, and then in turn have it speak to you or convey a message through images or whatever. So you immediately become calm again. And then you notice that the pseudo dragon is kind of trying to communicate with you a little bit, and it's trying essentially to get you to slow your pace. And so you do so. You kind of follow that. Now, Ricard, as you're looking around or whatever, you see, Kidron's right here beside you, and the pseudo dragon's flying. And you've slowed your pace. You're looking around. There is off in the distance, like about 100 yards from you, two people. They look as if they are guardsmen. They're dressed like guards. Now, they're heading in the same direction you are. So essentially, as you're heading southward, so are they. So they're both facing away from you. You kind of see the moonlight glinting off of their armor. As you're looking around, the various houses, most of them are dark. Most of the houses are buildings. Any of the shops that you can see are closed. The cobblestone street, is kind of glinting in the moonlight. And you look around and you spot Roland off in the distance, high in the sky, like really high in the sky. And you note that he is now heading westward. So you decide to slow your pace so as not to draw suspicion, though you're invisible.
Yeah. Are there any street lights? Are there any street lights, lanterns, anything like that lit?
There
that
are.
would illuminate us as we're coming through?
There are a few. Generally, at each intersection, or primarily at each intersection, there is a street light, and you know that it would be placed there primarily to prevent, carts running into each other, things as they're passing through the intersection or whatever. So at each intersection, there is a lamp light that's lit. But in between intersections, there are very few. So if it's like a 2-block distance between intersections, then or what you could measure as a 2-block distance, then there would be one street light between the two.
Okay. Given where we're at in the city, I'd like to. I'm gonna have my pseudo dragon communicate to Kidron the image of a cart, like some, like a person pulling a cart, trying to get across to him that I want us to get off of our feet and get in get in a cart where we can be undercover and make our way where we're going to go. Given where we're at in the city, are there any, in this late at night, kind of like pubs, places like that might have carts waiting outside to take people home, that type of thing? Do I see anything like that?
Uh,
Without,
ab-
I want to make sure we don't catch up to the guards any more than we already have.
right.
And as a matter of fact, if we come across any lanterns that are going to be directly lighting us, I want to use prestidigitation to put those
Okay.
lights out
Okay.
until after we passed, and then kind of have them flicker back up as we
Yeah.
get just out of range, just the edge of their range of illuminating us as well to try and keep us hidden.
Okay. Yeah, sure thing. Okay, so Kidron, if you'll make an intelligence check.
Okay.
Um,
Second.
just to see if you can kind of understand the message that's being attempted to be conveyed to you.
Absolutely.
Um,
Huh?
so he sees the card in his mind. Like Kidron, you see the card in your mind, and then you think of Skodrick and Atlas, and you're like, oh yeah, and you kind of begin to wonder which, where they're headed, and maybe kind of begin to think that perhaps you guys should head in the direction of the direction that they departed from to try and find or figure out where they are.
Exactly.
Ricard, make an insight check real quick. Now, as you guys are walking along or whatever, you do actually, in fact, see a pub, and the pubs are, or taverns in this area are pretty frequent. Or
5 insight, DM.
So as you're watching Kidron to see if the message was conveyed correctly, it appears that he absolutely got exactly what you were telling him. But you guys are approaching a tavern. They're off a couple of blocks from you, where you are currently. There's a tavern, and you do know that there are a couple of carts kind of parked out. One cart and 2 rickshaws. Parked outside the tavern or whatever. And as you begin to approach, you guys can hear the noise emanating from within the tavern.
All right. Can we? I want to have the pseudo dragon lead kind of in front of Kidron as I'm right next to her, and head towards one of the carts. One of the rickshaw style carts, whatever it might be.
Sure. Atlas and Skodrick, go ahead and make perception rolls for me as well.
22.
Cool. So Skodrick, as you're kind of scoping out the area, whatever, driving the cart, you're steering it pretty well, and the road is relatively empty. There's really only a person or two here and there, aside from the carts that you might pass as you're driving down the street and pass a tavern or an inn or something that has a bar available or a pub. So as you're kind of looking around or whatever, you see the silhouette of a black figure up in the sky, kind of flying overhead. Make an insight check for me. Either insight or intelligence, whichever.
Both of us or just Godric?
Can I roll a stealth roll? I want to sneak up on him.
Just Godric. Yeah, roll a stealth roll. So
That one.
Oh, Jesus.
okay.
That's a big bird. It's a big bat. Hey, Alice, you see that big bat up there?
Now that he's
I
pointed,
guess I'll look up.
Yeah, now that he's pointed it out, you can see. You can see the black silhouette.
Really?
It appears to be following you guys.
Roll my
Oh. May I, if it's following us, like, do I know maybe what exactly it looks like? Is it just a silhouette?
Well, it's just a silhouette. All you can tell from this distance or whatever, it's just a black silhouette in the sky, like the skylight, the twilight or whatever, the light off the moon is kind of shining from behind it. And so as you're looking up at the sky or whatever, all you see is the silhouette of this black figure kind of following you guys.
I'm going to message it.
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
I'm just going to say in the message, well, why are you following us?
That's all you're gonna say. Damn it! Hoping you weren't gonna notice I was up here.
I don't know if it's awakened or what. It could be.
Don't say anything to Skadrick. I'm going to sneak up on him, play a little joke, say nothing. Do you respond?
I don't
Me?
think he can.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess he could.
Oh, you woke
Just
up.
cast it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, he cast it again.
Oh, is it just one message back?
It's a cantrip. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're just gonna say I'm playing a prank on Skadrick. Don't say anything.
Yes.
That's what you say back. Okay.
You hear my voice though, right? You know it's me. I would assume.
Yeah. Do I hear his voice or is it just like a?
That's what I
Yeah.
thought.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna message back and be like, fine. We need to talk though. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Do I see any kind of weird like facial movements or anything like that when he's looking up at
I'm
it?
just like,
Make a perception check.
Jesus.
usually I just cover my mouth when I do message. I'm just like,
18.
What waste of time is this?
See him. You definitely see him, and the motion that he's undergoing or whatever is definitely that of having cast the message spell. You've seen him do it before.
Okay, so I'm assuming like just if I just see him, you know, I'm like, well,
Yeah,
did you
that's
find
true. I
out
would
who
do
it
that.
was or what it is?
apparently it's some sort of bird.
Oh God, maybe no, that's too big to be wind.
Don't you? I was gonna say, don't you have a bird?
Yeah, she's at where I let her free. It's your father's
Oh,
bread place. She's back on the.
hey, what happened back there?
Oh,
You didn't regale me.
yeah. So there's a few things that went down. We went in, you know.
10,008.
Yes. So a few things went down. It was, it started out good. We were going through rooms, clearing it out, checking everything. And then there was a room with a whole bunch of crates. I'm expecting Roland just to poof anytime.
Yeah. Well, okay. So as he's talking, and I know that because Atlas just talked to me. Basically, I know that that's them. I'm gonna come down and kind of like hover, kind of behind the cart, inching my way up, just right behind Skadrick's head as he's talking and explaining the story.
Okay, so Skadrick, you see this black figure coming down out of the sky.
I thought he would look away at this point. No, he's still looking at me.
Well, if
I
I
thought
if
I thought he was talking to Scott or Atlas. I mean,
Right. His
Okay.
perception check was higher than your stealth
Yeah.
check, though.
I think
thought
it was
that
19.
was for. I thought that was for to see if he could notice if Atlas was doing message. I didn't know if he was.
No.
Did it just go on the whole time?
Skadrick's perception was 22.
What?
No, it's 18.
It was 18. The perception before was for just to see if he saw me earlier. But I thought after that, the 18 was for to notice if Atlas was casting message.
Oh, you rolled a second perception check. Okay, I guess I
Yeah,
can
you-
call for.
Uh,
So it's the same. So you would still.
you did when I was looking at Atlas.
God, I'm losing my freaking mind. guys.
You're fine. You're fine.
Apparently, I've been drinking.
Flat cream soda.
That bland cream soda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty disappointed actually in that. Okay, so go ahead and make another perception check then, Skadrick.
Okay.
Come on, roll low.
Wow.
Nah.
We're friends.
Hey man, it's all good fun.
11. Yeah.
No malice here.
All right. So we came to the crates, right? These stacked up crates, and we could open them.
Taking no note of you, Roland.
Yeah.
whatsoever.
So it turns out they were fake, and we could open them up, and wouldn't you know, there was a secret cellar,
Yeah.
and there was 2 guys in there. It was a small cellar. Roland and Ricard went in there. They heard something. I didn't hear anything. Then all hell broke loose.
Oh shit.
Now they're fucking dead.
What the fuck?
Make a
Yeah, all dead or
make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh Jesus! Animal handling.
his pants?
19.
Oh Jesus! Good job.
Okay, well, that's pretty good. So he definitely startles you.
Jesus.
Seemingly, you
After
your heart
tonight,
starts
I'm not amazed by anything.
it's definitely, it's a little startling, but it's definitely nothing to be afraid of. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so it's a little startling, but that's it. Sorry about
Hey,
that.
hey, Roland. Did you see the Kedron and Ricard make it out?
I made sure Ricard got out. Yeah, and I was there when Keaton got out. I think he got out before both of us. I'm not sure where they went. Ricard turned invisible and yelled something about down with the Dragon Call. I'm not sure if you heard that. So now we're fighters or something. I'm not sure if anyone saw all of us. I tried to get out of there, without being noticed. But you know how Kedron is, kind of big and clanky. So it's possible we've been, we can be identified.
How's his elk?
So regarding Kedron, you guys managed to hire your cart and then begin to make your ways, continuing onward southward to the Skystone adventuring gear shop.
Stoneflyer.
Skystone. Stoneflyer adventuring shop.
Skyward Sword.
I was gonna kind of, when we got to the cart, before Kidron could say anything, I was just gonna kind of start talking, like I was I'd stand next to Kidron and go, "Yes, good sir, we would like to get a cart to this location," and just kind of drop coins out of nowhere into his onto his lap.
Okay.
One
Whose
gold
lap?
coin to pay the on the driver's lap.
Keidron would look at the voice. I would look at Ricard. I would go like,
And at the same time, I'm casting. Prestidigitation to try and keep, it dark enough to where the guy can't see Kidron's lips not moving.
Oh. You want to tell Kedron not to speak. Out of character. It's just going to be really awkward.
I might speak. Yeah.
Oh God.
But I'm not trying to disguise my voice. It's very obviously
Oh,
Ricard
God.
talking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's how
Gonna
I'm
be so
looking over. I'm like,
confused.
I still don't see you. But I looked over at you just to see if you were there.
The fuck?
And I'm
Actually,
going
no,
to.
more like, I really don't see you.
I'm going to tell the driver because I'm not sure where everybody else is going. And what I don't want right now is everybody to just split up again and go different directions. Right?
Right.
So I'm going to tell the driver to go a roundabout route past. So not a direct line. One, that'll let me kind of keep an eye and make sure nobody's following us.
Okay.
And, would allow me to know if somebody is. And two, would allow us to go by the High Lady's place
Okay.
and kind of keep an eye, because I saw rolling up in the sky, right?
Yes.
From
When
what
you
you
knew
said.
that he was headed west.
I knew he was headed west, so I'm gonna skirt around by there, see if we can grab them and possibly relocate, because I'm worried about, with the ruckus, about there being added guard at the High Lady's residence and causing issue. And possibly reroute to somewhere less related to the council to stay the night, right?
Okay.
And then with the instruction to him, to them, we're going to go to, the dock ward, right, to my family shop.
Gotcha. Okay.
As long as Kidron doesn't interject as I'm talking like I'm Kidron.
Oh, he definitely looked at you and says, Kidron, I still don't see you. or Ricard. He says, Ricard, I still don't see you.
Is that right?
And yeah, he said he said that he would say.
Oh,
that.
he did actually say something.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't hear him say that. Sorry.
So that being said, Kidron and Ricard, both of you guys roll an insight check real quick.
Okay.
Ooh.
That is
We still calling out our rolls?
4.
Yeah.
Should be. I don't think everybody had them, but we should be.
It's a nat
I got a
1.
4 on my insight roll.
Okay. So Ricard, you're looking at Kidron or whatever, and he makes this statement, he makes this claim or whatever, and then Kidron, as you're making this claim, you look over at the cart driver, and the cart driver has a surprised and slightly fearful look on his face now, and he looks over and he says, "Look, I've had one too many issues. I'm not looking to get myself into trouble. So if you guys have something going on, you probably need to move on to the next guy." And he holds the gold that's in his lap back out.
I'm going to release invisibility and roll a persuasion.
Okay.
And tell him, and that is a 22 persuasion. Good sir, please don't misunderstand. I've simply had a long night and would prefer my wife not see me coming in quite as inebriated as I am. My good paladin friend here has brought me back on the straight and narrow, and I just want to get home and kind of take a roundabout way to do it, to check on a friend.
He looks at Kidron and he's like, "Well, good on you, sir. Good on you for being a good friend." And he's like, and for that, you guys get half price on the cart ride.
Wow.
And then he looks at you, Ricard, and he says, "And shame on you, sir, for neglecting your wife in such a manner."
What a good guy.
He is.
I
Truly
like this
a
guy.
good
He
man.
needs to be a part of the party.
He is truly a good friend. And I kind of pat Kidron on the back and kind of wink at him.
He says, "You guys hop in. Where are we heading?" Okay.
I don't know what's going on.
Scodrick, Roland, and Atlas. Which Roland, I think there was something else you were going to say. So my apologies. For cutting you
I
off.
was gonna let Scodrick know. I was gonna ask him, can he send a message?
To whom?
Atlas is here. I'll just say my friend Trollum
Trollum. Oh,
is my friend.
I should have known. So, what do you want me to ask her?
It's not really anything you need to ask her. Just maybe inform her that basically give her the descriptions of the 2 corpses we left
Okay.
back in that cellar, and then let her know that those 2 gentlemen were discussing possibly, I guess, what's a good way to convey this? 'Cause I know you have a limited amount of,
Yeah.
words you can use. So if you can give a brief description of them and say they may be onto you, something like that.
I mean, they're dead.
You can leave it vague. If she has, I'm assuming she would assume, whoever they're affiliated with would also be thinking the same thing. Or you can say that. I'm not sure how you would word this exactly.
I may be able to word it in a way to find out if it was indeed the Cult of the Dragons. If this is who you're talking about.
Are we questioning if they were Cult of the Dragons after we murdered them?
Did you have proof?
I mean, they had our stuff, and they were talking about using it, and they were.
Well,
talking
the
about
town's
poisoning
guard
people.
took our stuff.
They were talking about poisoning people, and they didn't. I think I asked. I don't know if this is in character or not. I don't think I did ask in character. I think I asked out of character, like people who were dressed as guards.
No, I thought we did. DM, I thought we did.
Y'all did, and
perception checks.
they're not dressed as city guards or anything.
Right,
They're
yeah,
just
that's
wearing
correct.
like some generic robes, etc. So they seemingly had no
Stellar.
affiliation.
And they didn't return our stuff. So that makes me think that they were. I admit it's circumstantial. I'm not gonna
Okay.
deny that. But I mean, Skydrick, you were pretty,
Yeah.
involved there too. So I mean,
Oh,
I'm just
I
saying,
was. No, you're right. You're right.
You're
I
trying to.
see.
You're trying to.
You
you're
don't
trying to say,
have. Look, we're Darkcasters, all of us here. You don't have to say. I'll
we're
tell her.
temporary. Yeah, temporary is Atlas. He's probationary. Good job for standing watch, by the way, Atlas.
You know,
I'm
I
not-
should
I'm
thank
not-
you guys
I'm not
for giving
giving
me
you
the
crap.
honor.
I'm just saying.
He's getting
I
his
should
cut
really-
for sitting there.
No, honestly, Roland, I thank both of you for giving me the honor. I'm just really grateful that you guys didn't find a massive amount of treasure while you were there. So that way, I'm not missing out on anything.
Time out. Okay, Skydrick, did you tell him that we found stuff? I was listening.
I actually, I was just
Oh, he
about to
didn't.
tell
Did
him.
you? Did
I
you
was
find
just,
stuff?
I was just about to tell him.
Oh.
Just for the record, DM, all he knows is that he got his pack.
Yep.
That everybody
That's
got their
true.
stuff back.
Oh, you didn't actually tell us in character that we.
We were blowing up a building.
I'm just making sure. I know I was in the room when we were stuffing the stuff, but I didn't know I wouldn't be able to know the value.
I don't know. DM, would he know how much?
I wouldn't know the
Would he have
exact
any
value.
idea of the value?
Yeah, you would have the
No,
monocle to know that.
And in fact, none
I
of you
wouldn't
guys
even
would know
necessarily
the
know.
Oh,
right. You guys wouldn't have the exact count right now because you guys haven't had time to do the investigating. I simply sent you the number because to keep on record, basically.
Yes.
Do I
so you
have
haven't had time
a
to count
portion of that?
It's all in the bag of holding.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool. All right.
You
Yeah.
have your stuff because you have your pack.
Yes.
So you know that there was a significant amount, but you don't know how
Mhm.
much exactly.
Gotcha. I'll just convey to Atlas that he'll get his fair share of what we got. We don't know the exact figure of how much it was, but it was rather nice. Nice haul. And there's still some more down there. So
There was gold down there? I thought it was just our bags.
you were in the room, weren't you? Did you
I
ever
was
get in the room?
I was upstairs the whole time.
Oh yeah, so you don't know what's down there. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Skydrick, we got a decent haul of stuff.
That's
So,
cool.
Yeah.
I had the
um,
great honor of watching
Hey,
something.
just
I don't even know.
This is the easiest paycheck you're ever gonna make. Okay. So
Yeah.
Just be glad.
You slept the whole time and you get paid for it.
Is that in
And no
character,
one
Skydrick?
thought to wake me up. Well, technically, I wasn't asleep. I was just
Yeah,
inert.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, he's conscious. He just can't move.
Right. So you watched the door the whole
Yeah,
time.
so I'm not just being lazy.
We let you know what was going on as it was happening. You just, you were in stasis.
Yeah, in the background, standing back.
Essentially, from
Oh,
Atlas's perspective, right? He's sitting in the cart, right? And then you guys had pulled up, and he's just staring at this building the entire time. And he watches all of you guys kind of struggle for a minute to go in, and then sees Skydrick repair the door with the lock still engaged. And then the door shuts behind him, but slams on the deadbolt. So the door doesn't even shut all the way. He hears some rummaging around, some rustling, and then there's a huge explosion as you guys all come running out of the front door. The building begins.
Go, 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 go.
Yeah,
And it's just
pretty
like
much.
my metal body being lit up by this light in the background.
Right.
I would love to see this animated.
Yeah,
or something.
you're like a
Visualize
whole like a
it.
movie, like there's like two different
Yeah.
perspectives, or like a show. And one episode is what happened, and then the other episode is Alice's perspective of what happened.
Guys, I don't even actually remember. I know this was 10 minutes ago. Why did I stand by the car and sit there?
So there had not passed enough time for you to become active again.
I see.
Because
Okay.
the
Yeah,
shift change of the guardsmen happened before you were to come out of that.
I see. Okay. It happened early.
Yeah, we would have taken you, buddy.
I appreciate that.
Hey, man, you're one of us.
He's probationary.
Yeah. One of us. Anyway, so so how
Anyway,
exactly do you want me to word this?
Ayo Trollum, how you doing? No, don't say that.
Well, that's a waste of
Don't
Ayo
say
Trollum,
that.
how you doing? That's 6 words right there.
No. Hey. Roland wants to know. No. Say two. Well, what were the descriptions of the two people?
All right, I will say this. Whatever he says
Key
is
features.
what is going in the sending when he
Wow.
starts what he's going to say. I'm going to say it verbatim.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out the details. The people that were in the cellar were what? Like, if we had to describe them, physical features.
Yes. One of them was a little taller,
Oh,
and
okay.
one of them was a little shorter.
I was
Understandable.
gonna wait. One was
They
a
were both
baller.
human- They were both human male. One of them had a fairly rough voice. Both of them were kind of like scraggly looking, like rough, not clean shaven. Both of them kind of looked like. I mean, they had the appearance of mercenaries, essentially.
No tattoos, distinguishing marks.
You didn't
bald
check for that.
spots? I did not.
Yeah, it was kind of.
I tried to cut his throat. I could.
You guys kind of like started walking down the steps and then like stabbed everyone. So
I mean,
I saw
looked to
one
try
guy
and
and
see
I
what
held the
they
fuck
were.
out of him.
Yeah, we did look and
You-
try and get
so you held
details,
the
but
fuck
we
out of
couldn't
him?
tell.
Is that what you just said?
I held the
but-
fuck out of him.
Oh Jesus.
yeah, y'all did get description or whatever, but there was no distinguishing marks or
Gotcha.
anything identifying them as affiliated with a specific organization.
And they didn't state names of anyone.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right.
So then
So
leave
I'm
this
casting
out.
it.
Okay, I was gonna give you. You gotta let me give you the message first. Don't just start. Okay, I'm just saying. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm casting it anyway.
Gotcha.
And
Okay,
whatever
so
he
you're
says
like,
to me, when
you're
when
putting
he
all the
starts
burden
talking.
on me for this.
Yes.
Okay. So 25 words is what it is.
Yes.
Okay. Trollum. Roland wants you to know. Okay, yeah. That you may be under suspicion due to your lack of poisoning someone. How many words is that?
You got 7
You
left.
got six
7 left.
or
Or
7
6
left.
Yeah, six left. 7
Love you,
left.
boo.
Possibly me. Okay. When I say me, say
Possibly
Roland.
me.
Roland,
Yeah,
yeah.
say Roland. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
So leave the out.
Yes, please.
3 words left. I love you.
3 words left? Wow,
There you go.
that would be really crazy to say in the message through Scott's voice. So no,
Roland
I'm not gonna
loves
say.
you.
If you want to say that,
No, I'm not gonna say
I can't
that.
stop you. Please. Okay. 3 words, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 words.
Wait. 4 words. He should have 4 words.
4
Okay.
words.
Go forwards.
So you got 4 left.
Respond if possible.
I would interject and say she can respond right away. So he'll have those 4 back.
I know, but if she
Those
can't
3 back.
respond, if she's like unavailable to respond because she's around somebody,
Or dead.
how long does that actually last? You
Or
know what?
unconscious.
You know what? Both of you guys are terrible people.
I'm enjoying this so much.
Do you have a pet name you can call her?
Just tell her
No.
Atlas says hi.
Atlas says hi. It's over.
Don't waste words on that.
Who is Atlas?
Yeah, honestly, she doesn't even know who you
We
are.
met. We met once, didn't we?
I
Before
don't
she
think
left.
so. Wait, what?
Uh,
No, she left before we got to the Dragon Spear.
I met her for like 3 or 4 minutes, I think.
When she shot? No, yeah, you weren't there.
Yeah.
Were you?
Well, no, she
Maybe.
metered-
Oh, no. I saw her. That's what it was. I saw her at the Dragon Cult thing, whatever, that I first had seen way back.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Leaving.
First session for
Yeah.
Atlas.
That's right.
Okay. So,
And I respond verbatim. I'm sorry, relay verbatim.
she says,
Oh, she's still alive. Great.
this, this may not be 25 words exactly
Really? Should we waste words on that?
because I don't have that much to say back, but I know.
Wow.
Wow, not a waste of a spell at all.
Totally not. Wow.
4th level spell slot down the drain.
Dang. Jesus.
No, okay,
I mean,
she doesn't say that specifically.
Okay.
I'm not sure whether or not it was me that they were talking about and her or anything. I don't know.
She responds. She responds that she has felt that way, and says that she's being careful, and says she can't leave where she is because of that.
Okay. Skodrick, you relaying that to me?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Atlas.
He's like, who the hell are you guys talking to?
Okay, so Ricard and Kidron, you guys, you're on your cart or whatever, and you're making your way back to westward because Ricard, you said you wanted to head to the High Ladies' hideout first, and then swing around back to the Stoneflyer adventuring gear shop or whatever. So you guys are making your way through the streets, and it's fairly inactive. Let me see. So from where you guys are, it's actually not going to take that long to get over there. With that being said, Skodrick, Atlas, and Roland, you guys are arriving. So you're pulling up to the front gate, the recognizable front gate that you see with the stone wall on either side, and then the steps that lead up to the front door or whatever.
DM,
Go ahead.
question. Could I would like to have sent my pseudo dragon. Is there any way I can have her fly faster and go ahead of us?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Look for either Roland, Skodrick, or Atlas,
Sure.
and relay to them to that if she sees them that we are on the way there, to be careful and remain hidden until we can all reunite.
Yeah, sure.
And then if she sees them and relays that, then her instruction is to come back to me because she'll be out of my range.
Okay. Sure thing.
Thank you, sir. That's all I'd like to do.
Okay. Cool. So as you guys are arriving, everybody make a perception check real quick. Well, I want to say everybody. I'm sorry. I mean Skodrick, Roland, and Atlas. You guys make a perception check real quick.
22.
23.
Okay. So as you guys
What's its
pull
prices, right?
up to this particular building or whatever, there are a few features that you note that are a little bit different than general or than usual. One of the things is that you've noted before in the past that the home generally has a lit kind of environment. So most of the windowsills that you can see visibly or whatever typically have a candle in them that are lit, that are shining some flickering orange light out into the out into the yard or whatever. You know that all of these candles are extinguished and the house is dark. So as you approach, you begin to get the sense that there's a possibility. The outside appearance conveys the idea that no one is here. as you approach the front, there's typically a knock that's carried out. You guys recall all of that. You've been there a time or two now, a couple of times at least. So you perform that, but nobody answers the door. As you check the front door, it is not locked.
I open it.
I'm
worried about her.
Yeah, I got that, but okay, you said it doesn't look lit, right? It looks
Right.
dark, and the
It's
door's
dark.
open. It's unlocked.
Unlocked.
The door's locked. Yeah, it's just open.
If I see Skadric reach for the door, I'm gonna be like, "Hold on."
Okay.
I'm gonna investigate,
Sure. Yeah. Make it
see
a
if I see anything.
And
Sure.
while I see him looking at it, I would
Shit.
cast
Oh, what were you gonna cast?
guidance.
Yeah, well, does that? I mean, you was saying it as I did it. Does
Yeah,
it
you
still
can
count?
use it. I'll allow it.
Is that a D4?
It
is.
is a D4.
I'm not sure it's gonna help. Oh, we got a
That's
10.
a 10.
Also, as you guys are scoping this out or whatever, you note Ricard's pseudo dragon approaches.
Oh,
And then you guys
hey.
all get the telepathic imagery of Kidron and Ricard sitting in the cart, kind of giving you guys the idea that they're heading your direction.
Okay, I'm gonna let Skadric know. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure what I see.
Wait, before you go, before the pseudo dragon goes. Uh,
The pseudo dragon kind of stops. And do you mind if I control her, DM? Is that
No, that's fine.
She's kind of like comes over and flies and sits down on the ground in front of you and kind of looks up at you and you after communicating the image that like me and Kidron are traveling, and then the image of this building, she communicates an image of like the three of y'all hiding in the shadows, and just looks up at you expectantly.
Stay hidden.
I was gonna say we wait till they get here if I see the pseudo dragon, but because I don't trust this, whatever the hell is going on here. This looks.
And we definitely want to relay as best as we can, if we can, to the pseudo dragon that, hey, something's messed up here.
Yeah, you can literally just tell her, like she understands. She
So
just
the
can't
door's
speak.
unlocked. We're gonna wait outside for y'all.
Are you whispering this?
Of course.
Okay.
There's no need to make a stealth check. Nobody else is around.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if someone was like inside the door listening. That's why I was trying to. I don't trust this scenario.
She looks over at Roland.
Okay. Atlas, what's Atlas doing? Is
And
he
then
just on the
flies
cart
off.
still?
Yeah, Atlas is there with you guys. Atlas, you're mobile now. You've come out of your stasis.
Oh, good. So I have my spell slots and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Great. Okay.
Atlas, Plan C.
Plan C.
Okay. Okay. Who had the out of character? Who had that orb thing to see in the places? Was that Ricard or
I
was
guess
The
It has
orb thing.
something.
You mean the
I-
one that we put over the building?
yeah, the thing we were
Scott.
talking about? I can't remember. Scott,
That was,
okay.
yeah, it was my clairvoyance.
Clairvoyance,
Yes, ask
okay.
me if I have that.
Okay. I'm not gonna ask. I would know already. I would assume. I'm just trying to make sure I know what everyone would have in the
I know.
scenario.
It would be great right now. Oh, wait. Oh, well, the dragon's already gone. I was like, dragon.
Wait, would the pseudo dragon have left or would it stay there?
Yeah, she would have. If you didn't say anything to her
Mm-hmm.
after that, she would have started to leave, like just
Gotcha.
started to walk
Yeah.
back into the shadows to fly away, unless somebody calls to her.
I forgot her name.
You could just
Wah, wah.
go, hey, sir.
Okay, you.
Okay. So Atlas, Godric, and Roland, are you guys deciding to wait or are you going to proceed? Roland, you
gonna
mentioned
wait.
if you saw the pseudo dragon, you would want to make the decision to wait, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. Did the investigation roll go through at all, or did I see anything with
okay.
the
So
pin?
as you're checking out the front of the door, or whatever, there doesn't seem to be the appearance of anything that would allude to forced entry.
Okay.
there doesn't seem to be any evidence of from just looking at the door frame and the door itself or whatever. There doesn't seem to be any evidence of tampering or anything like that. The door seems as it was the last time you guys saw it.
And did she have any like maids or anything in the building last time? Or
There were
anytime we
only
were here?
guardsmen. The only time that you
Just
guys have
guards.
ever been here, there were guardsmen, and then the other council members.
And are we aware of any other place that she would be staying other than this place?
Um,
I don't know if she would have told us that.
make well, given that there is a headquarters of the Harpers
Mm-hmm.
in Waterdeep. The only other place that you guys can think of is that,
Okay.
though you don't know where that building is specifically. Atlas, you might have some idea.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Given that you're from
gonna.
Waterdeep. Make a history check, Atlas, real quick.
Oh god.
And one other question
ahead,
while
Ricardo.
he's doing that, DM.
Uh-huh.
Does my pseudo dragon see like Roland investigating? Like, are you peeking in the door, kind of looking a little bit closer? Can I roll a perception on that?
Yeah.
DM?
Absolutely. Yeah, make a perception check.
Yeah, that would be with
So he's
advantage.
not like peeking in the door or whatever. He just makes the note that the door itself is unlocked, which, given his skill in lock picking or whatever, he can kind of look at it and make an assessment.
History check 19.
Okay, so Atlas, you have a general idea of like you could probably guess within a few blocks of where the Harper's headquarters might be in this area, in Waterdeep. That is, you've heard some talk of it or whatever you recall, having seen some people that could be assumed to be a part of the Harpers traveling in and out of a specific area. So you do kind of have a general idea.
Very cool. Very cool.
I would just ask if, Skadrick or Atlas knew of any other place she would be if she's not here.
So
Well, I
Ricard,
mean,
DM,
Oh,
the
go ahead.
sorry.
perception check was a 20.
Yeah. So as you're, the pseudo dragon is sitting there or whatever, kind of watching things unfold a little bit just before it's turning to go away. It takes one last look back or whatever and sees Roland kind of investigatively moving up and down the door frame, across around where the front of the door is, down at the base, checking for marks, mauls, things like that.
If that's the case, she's gonna come back and like monitor them and like engage with them.
Okay.
Is that okay with you, DM? Is that cool?
Yeah, it's going to take some rolls,
Of course.
depending
of
on the
course.
message conveyed, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh yeah. She's just gonna come back to kind of monitor what's going on because they're
Okay.
not hiding. So now she's got an intelligence of 12. She's not a dumb
Right.
animal. Like she knows what I wanted her to do.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
they're not hiding, so she's like, "Oh shit!"
Um,
So she
So-
comes bebopping back up. That's all, and then is now
Okay.
standing there watching y'all
um,
and listening.
so Roland, after the investigation check not having revealed anything, was there anything else you were going to do, or you guys just going to kind of wait?
Well, yeah, I was
Yeah,
just
you
gonna ask when I
Okay.
asked them if they know any other places she would be at. Would Atlas he tell me?
So Roland, that would be something you recall having spoken with Ricard both and the High Lady as well. You would recall mention of the Harpers having some form of residence or some form of place of meeting here in Waterdeep.
Okay.
Given that it's a central location to, or not a central location, but one of the one of the primary hubs of trade and travel, et cetera, on the Sword Coast.
Well, I feel like she would have known that we were coming back. I think we talked to her about the plan, right? Like Skadrick, we were all here a few hours ago talking to her, right, about going there and getting the stuff and then coming back. And
I don't remember if we said we were coming back. to be honest.
Well,
Okay.
didn't you just mention if either one of us might know of another place she could be?
Okay, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying if we talked to her, that's what I was trying to figure out. If we had told her we were coming back, then I don't know why she would have left here. That's the only thing I'm trying to figure out. But
Yeah, I mean, maybe she was moved to a secret location.
sure.
The only place that I can think of, secretive people is the Harpers, and I believe I recall where their place is.
Okay.
Now that doesn't mean we're just going to be able to waltz in, but
Sure, we would need someone affiliated with it, which would be Ricard. So
yep.
probably should wait for him to get here. How lit is the area? Is it pretty bright?
So there's one street lamp that's lit on the corner outside of that and the moonlight. Now the street corner that is closest to you guys is going to be the northwest intersection. So if you remember that you're on the corner of Tharleon Street and the Street of Silks, right? So you're probably you're like two or three buildings south of that. And so there's like a street lamp that's lit on the corner there, and then one street lamp that's lit in the center of the block. Outside of that, there are no other street lights, only the moonlight shining down. So everybody's like features or identifying features would be obscured in the nighttime.
Okay. Is there an alleyway anywhere nearby? I assume.
You recall there is actually an alleyway south of the building that leads to the entrance to the basement that you had gone into before with Atlas the last time that you guys were here with Ulfney, where Ulfney did the look over, the inspection on Atlas's figure.
I'm just going to suggest we go to that alleyway and wait for Ricard to show up if we can still kind of
Okay.
keep an eye on the area.
So Ricard and Kidron, as you guys are traveling or whatever, it's seemingly an eventless travel, and it doesn't take you guys long. Probably 15-20 minutes before you guys catch up with the rest of the group. Or where the rest of the group was headed. And as you guys are traveling, you begin to approach the building of where the High Lady's hideout was. So Kidron and Ricard, go ahead and make a perception check as well.
Okay. And DM, do I, as we get closer, do I feel the link reestablished with my pseudo dragon?
Yes.
She hasn't flown back to me.
As soon as you come within the 100 feet of her, you feel that link happen again.
Okay. So she would immediately start, trying to image to me, telepathically communicate where they're at.
Okay. Yeah. Sure thing. Yeah. So you're able to now. Did you guys want to direct the cartsman to go down the alleyway, or just for him to stay out in the street there?
No, I would not. I would. My perception was a 19. What I would do is lean over to Kidron and go, maybe we should have him wait here. DM, can we fit everybody in this one cart, or did they had a cart, didn't they?
They do.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So, how does that sound, Kidron? What do you think?
That sounds like a solid plan.
Maybe you should talk to him because I'm the drunkard. Tell him to be right back.
Sir, would you mind waiting here for a moment?
And he says, "Of course."
Thank you.
I go,
I dismount.
Yeah, and I put my hand on Kidron's shoulder and kind of act like he's leading me, and I kind of am telling Kidron which way to go to get to where my pseudo dragon said they are.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys make your way down into the alleyway, and Skondrick, Roland, and Atlas, it's not difficult to tell when Ricard and Kidron come around the corner and begin to make their way towards you guys, reuniting all the party or whatever.
Hey guys, y'all made it out all right?
We did. I'm glad y'all did as well. Atlas, Roland.
Okay.
I wasn't in too much danger, so.
Okay, first things first, give the kid his cut. Just give him something.
Okay,
He's
we're standing in the middle of the road.
We're in the alleyway.
No, you
Ellie.
guys don't worry
We're
about that. We
in the
can
middle of
figure that out
No.
later.
I want to take
Hold
care
on.
of this now. Just go ahead and
I'm
just
not
give him his
frugal. It's fine. This is
money.
going to be a
I
long
know.
discussion.
I just
Okay.
don't want. I don't want it. I don't want it anymore. Just give him his money.
No, we are in the middle.
I
of
walk up and
Yeah,
put
that
my
would
arm
not be
on
appropriate. We must
shoulder
discuss
and
terms.
Good pat.
Terms.
Good to see you again.
We already discussed terms. He's gonna renegotiate the deal, Ricard. I'm
Good
trying
to
to help.
see
him.
Keidron, you might
Not doing
Tell him something.
Let's wait on it.
Oh
So
Jesus.
me
Okay.
and my pseudo dragon will try and will communicate what kind of
Sure.
what they were talking about. I'm like, so the building's empty.
Seemingly.
Yeah, I don't like it,
I don't recall if we told her we were coming back.
but
well,
I
but
don't.
it-
Also, don't think
but-
it would be unlocked.
Yeah, but
That
here's
too.
the thing, y'all. We went from a mission of stealth to kind of loud.
Yeah.
So I could very much see her being relocated.
With the door
Fair.
unlocked.
I
That's
don't
the
know.
most suspicious part to me.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I think either she's at the Harper's headquarters or she's in trouble, I would imagine.
Quick question.
But this could be a trap if we walk in there.
For
Quick
sure.
question. Can your dragon see in the dark?
I think it has dark
Yes.
vision.
Yeah, she
Would you
can.
mind sending the pseudo dragon into the building,
Okay,
just surveying it really quick
sure,
to see if anything is wrong?
sure.
Okay. Can you open the door?
DM, could the pseudo dragon open the door? I mean, it has front. It's not like a.
Well, it has a.
It's not like a
12
drake.
intelligence.
It's not like a drake. It has front hands, wings, and back legs. It's like a miniature dragon.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Kenzie's following.
I mean, dexterity is 15, if that matters to you at all.
I don't think so. As long as because it's not something that the pseudo dragon's done before.
Oh, yeah.
So essentially, you'd have to teach it how.
Okay. I mean,
But I mean, it's something that you could pretty much explain to it because a 12 intelligence is pretty good. It's pretty decent.
smarter than some people.
Right. yeah, definitely.
I mean,
So yeah, I feel like it would be able to open the door.
Okay.
Oh,
It would take a strength check.
Yeah, I imagine
Mhm.
her strength
Push
is
the
only
door
4, so I think it would. I kind of tell her, okay, so you haven't had you open a door yet, but you kind of like grab the little handle or the lever and you turn it one way or the other. And I said it might be hard. If it's locked, you won't be able to get through it. And I kind of talk her through it.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Yeah, for sure. So go ahead and make a strength check for your pseudo dragon.
Okay.
And this is just going to be to see if the pseudo dragon can push the door open.
All right. Is the front door? This is for the front door.
Yes.
Okay. Before I send her up, I'll go. Roland, have you checked it for traps? Is there?
I gave it a quick once over. It seemed like it wasn't trapped. It
Okay.
seemed like it was unlocked already. But I mean, it's always possible I missed something. I was just trying to make sure.
DM, can I walk up to the front door with like my pseudo dragon kind of hidden in front of me, and actually open the front door for her?
Yeah.
Like check
Absolutely.
the front door myself.
Yeah.
I'd like to do an investigation and an Arcana check,
Okay.
and then if I don't see anything dangerous, just kind of crack the door and kind of just big enough for
Just
her to get
enough for
through.
the-
Just peek in. If
Yeah.
I don't see anything, act like, oh well, and just kind of pull the door, but not latch it.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
walk back
definitely.
away. Okay.
Yeah. So make your Arcana check and investigation check.
Okay. Arcana check first. That is a 16 Arcana.
Okay.
And investigation is a 18 investigation.
nice.
Okay. Yeah. So you're looking the door over, and again, you find that the status of the door, the state of the door, is the same as the last time you saw it, with the exception that it's unlocked, and you don't hear any noise or anything from the inside. As you're, kind of meditating for a second to try and feel through the magic of the area, to try and see environmentally if there's anything that exists. You don't feel anything. And what you know is that typically there is some sort of magic at play, especially when the High Lady's in conversation with somebody or wanting to work in the one room in which the illusory effect is cast, that you would know of, but you don't even get a sense of that currently.
So, like where there would normally be wards on the front door, there are none, type of thing.
No, so that
Or
that
is it-
hasn't changed. There's
Okay.
not typically any wards or anything on the front door. So
Okay. All right. So as long as I don't feel any like anything unsettling,
yeah, sure thing.
then I'll do what I described. Kind of just crack
Yeah.
the door,
Right.
kind of pointing at the, trying to demonstrate how to open the door handle this one last time to the pseudo dragon. See,
Okay.
you just got to do this. And I tell her,
Yeah.
to make sure she stays to the edges of the wall and
Okay.
watches for things and is safe, and tell her to just go look around and explain to her that I'm gonna link through her so I can see everything. And I
Sure.
just let her duck in the door and then just kind of pull it
Um,
too, but not
Are you
latch it.
gonna stand at the front as you're? Are you gonna stand at the front? Or are you gonna go back around to the alleyway?
I'm gonna go
as you're
back
seeing
around to the
through her?
alleyway as long as that
Okay.
will keep me in range of her.
Okay. All
And
right.
then as soon as I get there, I'm gonna be like, okay, y'all, watch out for me. And I kind of reach out for Kidrin's shoulder to grab a hold of.
Okay.
And then I go like wide-eyed
Okay.
as I start seeing through my pseudo dragon's eyes.
I don't like this.
I'm gonna look around to see if there's anybody
And
being nosy.
Okay.
and I'm gonna give a verbal. So whatever you tell me, DM, I'm gonna give a verbal,
Sure.
like quiet verbal recitation,
Okay.
repeating it verbally to everybody around.
Okay.
Or to
Yeah. So essentially, you don't have to actually
Yes.
relay the information, so
Yes,
everybody's kind of picking this up.
Yep.
Okay, so as the pseudo dragon kind of makes its way in, you begin to take through or allow your vision to deviate so that it's being seen through your pseudo dragon's eyes, kind of taken over. So as you make your way in, or whatever, you see the room, the beams of moonlight shining through the front door onto the wood, giving it the appearance of being cool or cold. You see little dust particles floating through the moonlight. Essentially, the room is in the configuration that it was in prior or previously, with the exception that anything of value is gone. Any of the decorative pieces, any of the wall decorations, wall decor, any candlesticks that had seemed to be like silver or anything like that, those are all gone. As you move the pseudo dragon through, now there's nobody in there. It's completely empty. You move the pseudo dragon through around to the rear left corner where the stairwell is that leads to the second floor. As you move up the second floor again, still with nothing, no sounds, and it's pretty dark. The pseudo dragon moves up to the top steps to the landing and finds that both doors, because if you recall, there was a door at the top of the landing or whatever, and then a very small room, and then a second door that led into the room where you guys had the meeting. Both of those doors are open, just wide open or whatever. So as you move through, again, everything is in the configuration that it was in prior to. You see the one round table with the 8 chairs around it. You see like the candlesticks and the windowsills, but they've been extinguished or whatever. None of them are smoking, giving you the indication that whatever happened to clear the house out was done so before nighttime. It's as if the candles were never lit in the first place. So as you're looking through whatever, again, most things in this room of value are gone, but not all of them. There are a few things that are left. There are a couple items on the mantle of the fireplace that you see, one decorative like sword that's there, seemingly there just for decoration, but really no other purpose. There are a couple other things about the room, just like little decorative candle holders and things that you recognize, given it the air of being fanciful or whatever. On the round table with the 8 chairs, you see the one black, the onyx pyramid sits in the center of the table. Outside of that, the room is empty. Again, there are no signs of people having been here, forced entry, or anything of that nature.
Okay.
And that's it. So your pseudo dragon makes the rounds or whatever, and then kind of begins to make its way back towards the front door.
All right. As she finishes her rounds, I'm gonna just
make a
have
perception check real
Oh.
quick
with from her.
for your pseudo dragon, right?
Okay. Is it sight, hearing, or smell based?
Right.
Because you'll get
Yeah.
advantage.
Yeah, you can do
Okay.
it with advantage.
Okay, and I'll roll because mine's the same. So. Oh, that was a 1. Yeah, 22. Phew.
Jesus.
As
Okay.
your pseudo dragon's making its way back downstairs or whatever, there is one thing that you note that you didn't note before. And so, given the purpose of the first pass through of your pseudo dragon was just to try and figure out if there was anything malicious going on, et cetera, paying a little more closely to some of the details in the room on the way back out, you see on the wall of the doorway that leads into the room, there is a panel, a floor panel that is essentially turned upward and is perpendicular to the floor, sticking up in the air. As your pseudo dragon approaches it, you find that there is a 4 foot by 4 foot hole in the floor with a ladder that leads downward. As your pseudo dragon takes a look, it doesn't go down very far. Seemingly goes down far enough to be below the surface of the ground level, essentially, below the surface of the floor. And it's deep enough so that somebody who's 6 foot could stand up straight and walk through, at least in this portion. As your pseudo dragon turns to look, it sees down this little passageway and notes that this passageway travels eastward. Now it goes eastward for a pretty good distance, and it's dark the entire way. So your pseudo dragon from this distance can't tell where the end of this passage is.
Okay. Does it look like it might be going in the direction of the underground pathway we discovered?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, at that point, is there anything else she sees as she comes to the front door?
No.
Okay.
No,
Once she gets to the front door, instead of having her come out, I'm going to just dismiss her and then resummon her to me.
Okay.
And
very good.
Well, it looks like she evacuated before night ever fell.
So before we would have done what we did?
Yeah.
That's odd.
And the pathway looks like it would have linked up to the one not we discovered, but that was exposed in the cave-in with that stupid book.
She didn't mention anything to you about any kind of, did you even know about that escape path in this building?
DM, did I have, I mean, it would be safe to assume that there was one, but did I know?
She has not mentioned it.
No.
So far, in and among any of y'all's encounters or interactions with her throughout the time in Waterdeep so far, she's not mentioned there being a passageway there.
And
How long ago did we say it was 6 hours since we left this building, or was it
I think it was
just
like
how long?
4 or something.
What was that around in here?
I think it was like 4 or so hours, correct?
So that was since you guys left the Stoneflyer shop. Because you guys did
That's
a bunch
right.
of shopping in and among the shops. So you guys left this building quite a bit of time ago. Like, it's been a while. Essentially the morning, I think, when you guys woke up, Skadric, you had slept here
Right,
and the
but we
rest of
went
the
back. We went back to tell because she called us. She summoned
Right.
us.
Yeah. So it's been like
Yeah,
4
so
hours since
you
we
guys
4
went,
to
yeah,
6
so it's
hours
been
since we were
46
here.
hours. Yeah.
Okay. And then when we were last here, it wasn't how
No,
close. I guess
there
how
wasn't any-
long was it until nightfall? Is what I'm trying
No,
to
it was,
figure
it
out.
was before nightfall.
Yeah, it was a
Okay.
few hours
Okay. So yeah,
before the sun started
this
going down.
this seems suspicious
So
because
it's been pretty quick.
Well, if
it's like she evacuated right before. Like she
She
knew we were gonna
knew.
go. She knew we were
Yeah.
gonna go there, but it's like obviously we waited a long time. Why would she need to evacuate beforehand?
well, if so, we don't have a spotless track record, so I can see. I'm trying
Who
to
is we?
justify it.
The Harpers?
No, I
Or
mean
just us, the
the
Doncasters?
Dawncasters. We don't have a track record of utter secrecy in our
Sure.
movements and activities. So I could see her taking precautions,
Sure.
right? But
But leaving the door unlocked.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Well,
it's like
if
she just
she's
and then
removed
all the
every,
valuables on the first floor are gone, right?
yeah, and most everything is gone except for a very little bit, and it would be things that were not overly valuable.
Hmm.
Because fear of retaliation could be a very real thing.
It's got a point. If she
But she seemed confident that that it wasn't gonna blow back on her. At least us going there tonight. That's what she seemed to convey to us. Right? So that's why I'm a little baffled that she would have taken such abrupt measures without letting us know she was gonna do them. Like, how hard would it have been to say, well, just in case something goes wrong, I'll be here or I'll be evacuating
I feel it's the best
before we left?
in
It
case
just
one of us
seems
gets captured. Master Ricard,
Very good
was
question.
there any evidence to say that it wasn't just plain out looters that has taken the valuables?
DM, does it look like it was looted or does it look like it was packed up?
So it's hard to say. It's hard to tell. Given though that not all of the valuable items, remember, because on the second floor there are a few items of value still left, including the one pyramid. So it almost gives the portrayal of perhaps if somebody were packing. If the idea was that somebody were packing up, perhaps they ran out of time and had to leave before they finished packing, or perhaps somebody was in fact looting the place, because there aren't a whole lot of pieces of furniture or things that have drawers in them. So it as far as like strowing things about, that's not necessarily somebody could just walk into the room and take a glance and figure out what they wanted to take with them in these rooms or whatever. So given that information, it wouldn't have been difficult, especially if somebody left the front door open and somebody else who had been watching and seen people leave in a hurry could have gone in to loot the place. And perhaps in the midst of their looting, somebody else came in to stop them.
Question specifically about the pyramid. Is that given my knowledge, is that a magic item or is that
That is absolutely.
Okay, so I would.
And you recall, actually, all of you guys recall, that is a magic item, but it was also produced by Ulfni specifically. That's something that the High Lady has mentioned to you guys specifically.
I think we need to go in there and get that pyramid.
Sure.
And here's the thing, though.
I think we should go down the tunnel.
I think you're probably right. But right now, I'm not sure if I'm kind of half it's a trap and half it's not a trap.
Well, I mean, we can't stay here now, given that it's. I mean,
That's correct.
It just seems like a bad idea.
I was gonna suggest not staying here anyway.
Yeah.
But
the only other place we know of is your shop, and then I guess Ulfni's. Atlas is in Ulfni's place.
Yeah, because
you could always ask Ulfni.
Would he be in that shop or in that
Well, he would still,
laboratory
he'd
now?
probably still be in
So one of the
my
things
room.
is, yeah, one of the
Oh, yeah,
things that you
he's
guys
still there.
recalled was that he was Atlas. Had told you guys that he was renting Atlas's room for
Yeah.
a specific reason. But then you also recalled that he mentioned he needed to travel back to his other warehouse for a specific
Oh, yeah.
reason. And so, after having the discussion, because Atlas, you recall, there was some discussion about him wanting to help you find your dog. But then you mentioning to him just to go on and not worry about the dog, that you were going to look forward or whatever, and your folks were going to look forward or whatever.
Yeah, and he's getting me my sword and armor.
Right. So he's going to try and get you your sword and armor, but he had mentioned that he needed to head back to his other shop. So now there is something though that you guys think about that you guys have not investigated Wolfney's shop, which is in the same building. Now, as you guys have been in and out, you do recall that there seemingly was no connection between the upper floors and the basement floor, which is the door that you guys are standing next to now.
The door we're standing next to now is the basement door.
Yes.
I'll
As you
check
guys are
and see
standing
if it's
in the
locked.
alleyway,
Okay.
I reach out and see if it's locked.
it is locked.
Yeah, we don't have lockpicks still. Anyone?
You got your
got your
pack back.
bag,
So if you
yeah.
have-
Oh yeah.
You got your backpack.
Yes. Finally, thieves tool. Okay. Jesus. All right, I'm gonna try to
How good are
unlock
you
this.
at oh yeah, you're the master of doors, huh?
14 on that.
That he is.
Yeah.
Oh God, no.
So try as you might.
Roland, are you having trouble with the door?
I don't know yet.
So
Do you know what I'm saying?
as you're fiddling, going going through the process of unlocking the door, whatever, you turn the lock or whatever, and as you turn the lock,
Explosion.
seemingly that particular lock unlocks, but then you hear a
Oh God damn it! One time I don't check for traps. Okay.
that noise seemingly comes from the other side of the door. So it's a loud clattering sound followed by a thud, and you actually feel the vibration come through the door.
Huh.
Now,
Was it? Did it look like
essentially
a?
nothing- Go ahead.
I was gonna say, did it look like a standard lock? Like, or
It
was it
appears
like
to be.
a? Okay, so it's not. When I say a standard lock, I'm thinking one that's like a deadbolt, like it's actually hanging off the door, or is it? Is it a part of the door, or is it a separate attachment? That's what I'm trying to figure
No,
out.
so it's one of those that you could seemingly see through the keyhole in. Like it's
Okay.
it's in the door itself, so it's like an
Gotcha.
actual.
Gotcha. Okay. And this is an Ofni shop, or is this in? So I guess I was trying to figure out. Is it still in the High Ladies?
No, this is the hideout, but the hideout is attached to the
Right.
two floors. The hideout sit on top of the basement floor that is Ulfney's shop,
Gotcha.
but there's seemingly no connection between the two.
There's a chance Ofni made this door. This long.
You having a hard time, Roland?
I just, from what I
Can I roll a
heard,
perception?
would I know what that noise meant?
Roll an intelligence check, and Ricard, you can also roll a perception check.
Okay, thank you.
6. I don't think I know shit.
Could I also have my pseudo dragon check? Well, I got a 5.
Mm.
Yeah. Up to you,
So
DM.
Roland,
I roll
you do
tonight.
note, Roland, you do note that it does appear as if you unlocked the door itself. Now,
Hmm.
given the right amount of pressure, it seems as if the door would swing towards you, though you recall it being pushable.
That's odd.
Do you say that out loud?
Yeah, I would let them know that.
What's odd?
Okay. A lot of things tonight, but this door seemed like it was a push door. but it also seems like now it should be able to be pulled towards us. I'm a little hesitant given the noise,
What
and
noise?
there was like a loud thud, like a mechanical sound, and so I'm trying to make sure, specifically because this goes to Opni's like warehouse. It could be that he put some other stuff in this door just to make sure no one could get in, like a simple thief. Uh, Ricard, do you want to like just give this a once over just to make sure there's no magical stuff or anything going on here before we?
DM, can I do an Arcana check to see if I see any signs of magical runes, anything like that, and
Sure.
an investigation? Just do both again, like
Yeah,
I did for the other
absolutely.
door. Okay, Arcana
yeah.
and investigation. I have a 17 Arcana and an 8 investigation.
Okay. So there aren't any markings on this side of the door, whatever. You do get the sense, though, that it is a swinging door, so it does go in and out, or whatever.
Okay.
The Arcana check, you do feel like some magic kind of emanating from inside, but it doesn't seem like it's coming from directly inside the door. It seems like it's coming from within inside the room.
Okay.
All right. So I communicate that verbatim. I'm like, after seeing what Ulfni had at his last shop, I don't know that I would trust walking through this doorway.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, how much does the door seem like it weighs a lot, or is it just like a normal door?
It's a normal
I can
door.
tell. Okay.
It's a normal door.
If y'all want, we could back away, and I could use Mage Hand to pull it open.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, that's fine.
DM, is that? I mean,
Sure.
is that
Yeah,
cool?
you can do that.
All right.
Yeah. So you guys back away from the door, giving enough space so that which essentially the wall of the building across the alleyway is it's directly across from the door. So you guys move over to the sides. So in case something is to like shoot out or whatever, would not hit you guys. And as you swing the door open with Mage Hand, after having cast Mage Hand, nothing happens. So as you guys kind of turn to look, you see some words inscribed on the door on the inside.
What are
Okay.
those words?
So inscribed on the inside of the door, as you're turning to look, are the words, "It'll take more than that, you simple thief."
Yeah.
You
there it
note
is.
as you see the opening to the door, there is an iron portcullis that has dropped, closing the opening on the inside.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
fair. That's fair.
I'm gonna take the key that I have and use it.
Okay. As you
It was made by Ulfni. I mean,
If this key works, I'm gonna do like. How long you had that, buddy?
so as you
I've
pull
been
the key
waiting
out,
on.
you move up to the iron portcullis, and you see that this iron portcullis seemingly has no locks on it.
Okay, it's fine.
Hmm.
What if you close the door and put it in the keyhole?
Yeah, I'm also. Yeah, I'll try that.
Okay. So you shut the door. You go to put the key in the keyhole, but you note that the key is not shaped correctly to fit.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Roland, can you relock the door?
I can try. Is that something I can do to him?
Yeah,
I mean, like just.
absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. You just
Okay,
essentially
so-
do the reverse of unlocking it.
Do I need to roll for that, or
Which
is that
makes
just
sense.
something I can?
So given that you know the configuration to unlock the door,
Mm-hmm.
you now understand the configuration to relock the door.
Okay.
So you wouldn't necessarily need to roll for that. You shut the door and you relock it, but you don't hear anything come from the inside.
Dang.
Okay, I just unlock it again, and and I'm like, okay, we got to. If we're really trying to get in here, I mean, there's ways to get in, but how far do we want to go with this? Like, is this really that? Is it necessary for us to get in here right now?
So has anybody touched the door? Like the Colas, I mean.
The portcullis? No.
No.
Yeah, screw it. If you open back up the door, I'll just place my hand on the portcullis.
Okay.
Okay.
As you
so
go
you
to do
open-
that, I start to go. That might not. Oh, well,
so
He's trying to earn his paycheck.
that's why.
Let him do it.
Just pay somehow.
all right, make a thieves tools check again as you're trying to unlock the door again.
Me?
Yes. Do it with advantage.
Okay. Whew.
Good.
God.
It was a that one, and then it was a 20.
Yeah. Oh man.
You guys seem to be doing that a lot tonight.
Mm.
One way or the other.
Okay, so you do hear the latch again. No sounds come from the inside again. Though as you're unlocking it, it almost seems as if there was an ever so slight change in the process you had to undergo in order to unlock it again. As you swing the door back open or whatever, the iron portcullis still resides. You guys somebody make an investigation check on the portcullis.
No.
Just make individual ones.
Yeah, if you want. Anybody that wants to check it out, essentially.
Jesus.
Nice.
Jesus. These rolls
14.
are awful. Hey, no, Keegan, right? Keegan did roll.
I cast guidance.
Oh my god.
No, I'm not. It's already rolled.
Okay, well, it's got a
If
14.
anybody else has
Can the pseudo dragon investigate?
If you wanted to, yeah, you can tell us everything.
does anybody else have
Technically, it's smarter than me, so I guess sure why.
She is
Have what?
like apparently she has decided that she is needed to
no.
fix this party today.
does
after
anybody else
everybody
have
not hiding.
proficiency in investigation?
I do.
Mm,
You could assist me, and I'll get it.
I mean, I already rolled. I don't know if he's going to let me
Yeah.
re-roll
He
it.
did the investigation himself.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so
I
Atlas,
know
as you're
you had a
looking at,
7. Gee.
the iron portcullis itself seems to be fairly simple, fairly simplistic iron portcullis. It appears there are no locking mechanisms or anything, and the iron portcullis itself dropped from above.
She got a 19, DM.
Oh, there you go.
It's a damn pseudo dragon. Really?
So the pseudo dragon conveys to you, Ricard, that that if someone were to lift, that the portcullis could potentially be opened by lifting. Though there seems to be a mechanism that activates something else upon lifting the portcullis.
Oh, great. Can I?
Okay,
Don't
so I
think I can-
communicate that. Yeah.
Does she
all
know
right,
where
Keaton,
the
you
mechanism
ready to
is?
take the brunt of the force?
Does she know where it is? Like, could I help through her
So
description
upon
pointed out to Roland?
right, so upon peering what little bit of very, very minuscule amount of space there is for the seam for the portcullis to drop down, looking in through the seam at the top of the space, there seems to be some sort of lever or something in the space that the portcullis dropped from, and that lifting the portcullis would essentially push on that lever, reactivating something
Reactivating something.
or activating something else. Right.
Okay. Does my knowledge of doors tell me if it's gonna open the door or do something crazy?
So you definitely feel like the portcullis can be lifted, but you get the sense that
That's the obvious
lever
thing to
above
do.
the door. Right. You do get the sense with the description and everything that this is in fact some sort of trap, some sort of mechanic safety put in place to either prevent or cause some sort of inconvenience to the person trying to get in.
Roland,
Is
do
there-
you think you could work it while we tried to lift?
Can I reach this lever, or is there anywhere I can get access to it from this side of the door, or is it
Unfortunately, not.
no? Can I see it?
Barely.
Can the pseudo dragon see it? Like,
Yeah.
could the pseudo dragon get through the door to the portcullis at all?
How far away is it?
It's like a seam, so it's like 1.5 feet up inside the gap from the portcullis.
Can I summon my mage hand on it?
Yeah, I was gonna say if the pseudo dragon can be summoned on the
Yeah.
other side and see it. Ricard can technically do it if I guide him through
Yeah.
the
You
steps,
could
I guess.
summon-
I wouldn't put my pseudo dragon over there to try and do this.
No. I'm saying just so you can get
I'll
a
use
good
my-
view of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could summon Mage Hand up above the portcullis.
Okay. Then we'll do that.
So as you summon Mage Hand or whatever, you push the lever up that exists above the portcullis, and it seems to be counterbalanced, as if it takes almost nothing to push the lever up. As you push the lever up, you hear the sound of sliding metal dropping quite rapidly just on
Jeez.
the other side of the portcullis, and then
We're
you hear
pushing it.
a thud
A guillotine.
on the other side of the portcullis.
I didn't know we were pushing it. I thought we were just. I was gonna try to
Well,
disarm.
it's
Yeah, I
activated
was
now.
waiting for him. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get Ricard to do. I wasn't trying to get him to push the lever.
I was waiting for Roland to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I'm like, what's going on? I'm like,
No,
wait.
Let's do it. All right.
I'm like,
I was
oh,
like,
lever.
yeah, I wouldn't have him disarm it. I was gonna explain to him the steps to maybe.
I don't know that I could. I can't. I don't
Yeah,
have that
you
level
wouldn't-
of dexterity. But if it was something where I need to hold the lever in place while the portcullis was being moved, that might be possible with Mage Hand.
Or take off the lever itself so it won't be moved.
I don't. Is it? I don't
I guess
think
the
it.
question is, do I know of a way to disarm this if I'm on the other side of this door? Would I be able to actually disarm that lever?
No.
Would I? No. Okay.
No.
Then it doesn't matter. Okay. I mean, you can try something, Ricard.
Everything I just described.
Oh, okay. You want me to just try something? I pulled the lever here.
Maybe not that.
It was done.
Well,
I
if
said,
you say
okay,
it
you
was
want me to try
counterbalanced,
something?
just-
It's my fault. Sorry.
Yeah.
And it pulls.
Step
There's
back,
so many
step back.
things. Oh Jesus!
All
Do we
right,
see anything change?
No, but you do hear
Behind
sliding
roll.
metal and the thud on the other side of the door.
Do we see what happens? We don't see what happens.
No.
The sliding metal and the thud.
Okay.
You can hear it, but you don't
Pretty
see it.
sure that's all. So I'm gonna tap Keydrin on the shoulder, cast guidance, and let's lift this thing.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Do I, wait. If I pull the lever again, does it do it again?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
I go,
Doesn't
okay,
work.
one and done, y'all. Cool.
Let me find
Okay.
guidance.
One
Okay.
second. So you
All
just
right.
guidance and
Yep. All right, Kidron, making a strength check.
Can I assist? Well, is it,
one
I have
second.
proficiency with strength saving throws.
No,
Can I assist him, DM?
unfortunately not.
Damn it.
I have Misty
Make an
Step.
athletics check. You
Or
can
would it
do-
be athletics? Yeah, athletics. I don't want.
You can do athletics check.
The Misty Step.
Does Misty Step require
enough
you
stuff.
to be able to see where you're going?
It says, so briefly surrounded by silver mist, you teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space that you can see.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Um,
you cannot see
I
on the
don't know.
inside of the door.
So the portcullis itself
It's solid,
is
Mm.
solid.
Yeah.
Okay.
so you can't see on the other side of it, unfortunately.
How are we lifting it?
Question,
Is there-
DM.
Uh-huh.
Crease.
If I summon my pseudo dragon on the other side of the door and have her transmit a mental image of the other side of the door, does that count as seeing?
That's what I was trying to do the first.
But transmit it to Kidron.
Oh,
Didn't have-
I guess
yeah,
that-
we didn't say Misty Step. Yeah.
Um,
that could work.
Well, it's up to DM.
He ends
Yeah,
up
I
halfway
like
through
that.
the
Yeah,
door.
Misty-
Ah!
It says unoccupied, so it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
I like that. Still unoccupied.
huh.
Great idea. I do have a crowbar.
I was
We,
gonna
uh,
lift.
I mean, if we can lift it,
Can
we
I
can
just-
technically see
I'll just
inside.
lift. Yeah, I'll lift
at
it.
that point, depending on what's on the other side.
Gotta,
Let me, before I make the decision, so I'm going to say no right now, but I'm going to do some research on that because technically you would be able to see the space. So the question is it an actively seeing or just have a visual of the space?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because it's
So-
not like So that's why I was wondering. So yeah.
Right. So we're going to say no right now.
Okay.
But if it would at least give you an idea of what the other side looks like,
Okay.
if that's something you wanted to do.
Yeah, I would try that because of course I'd
Okay.
have to try it to see if it would work, right? So I would summon her on the other side
Right.
and look
So
through
the
her
image-
eyes, and then also have her transmit the image of the other side to Kidron
Okay.
to see if it worked.
So the image that you get, there is in fact on the other side of the portcullis a very, very large blade that is now resting on the ground, and now it still stands vertical. So it's still perpendicular to the ground, but it is resting on the ground, and it is as you're looking or whatever, you see the slats that it slid down behind the portcullis or whatever. So and you can see inside the room. There doesn't appear to be anything else inside the room that would cause a trigger or anything like that. You don't see anything else with the imagery portrayed. Now, Kidron, make an Arcana check real quick, and just to
Okay.
see if you feel like that would work. Okay, so you get the sense currently that it's a place that you have to actively see in order to travel there.
Perfect.
So,
So strength or athletics?
but you get the feeling that it might work in the future. Athletics check, yeah, either a strength or an athletics check
Right.
in order to try and pry the
Right.
door open.
So I'm gonna summon her back before we go to lift that door.
I lifted it. Plus your D4 if you want to. Kidron.
Yeah, Kidron, you have a guidance. He casts guidance on you.
It's a
Might just,
D4.
hit D4 on.
Yeah.
Lift with your legs.
12. There you go. By Muhammad, lift with your legs.
I'm a twisting, lifting motion.
Okay. So real quick, guys, who all needs to get up early?
Me.
Kidron, anybody else working?
Right.
Okay, work hard. Okay, so it's looking like a midnight stop time tonight, I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty
Uh,
much.
Do you guys want to break real quick? Bathroom
Sure.
break, snacks, drinks.
Sure.
I think this would be a good time for it.
Coffee. Coffee.
Cool. All right, guys. I'm gonna go get some more of that bland memory loss causing
Oh,
cream
Oh
soda
Lord.
so we can have some more hiccups in game.
Huzzah.
And cream soda. What kind of cream soda you drinking, lad?
An off-brand that I'll probably never buy again.
Is that Irish cream soda or?
I wish. All right, guys. So we're gonna take a quick break, and we will be back.
Alrighty.
Yeah, coming at you live.
Bye.
Welcome back.
Sweet. Hey guys, we're back. Sweet. All right. Okay, cool. So, it takes a little bit of work, but Kidron, I'm looking at your roll there. Your second roll says save on it. Did you mean to roll a save?
Absolutely. Is it a high roll? I accept. No, I didn't mean.
Now, Scodrick, your athletics check, were you doing that in aid of, or you're trying to make your own check?
I was
You're
doing
trying
my
to-
own. I was
Okay.
doing my own.
So, Scodrick, you actually managed to lift the portcullis a pretty
Alright.
good bit.
All right.
So as you lift it or whatever, you see the blade kind of, laying across the ground. And this blade is about a foot thick. Now, not when I say thickness, I don't mean like the blade itself is like, a foot thick, but
That's what I thought. I literally thought that.
a foot wide. So a foot wide. It covers the entire width of the doorway. A foot tall. That's what I'm going for. There you go. I'm telling you. It's,
This cream soda.
Cream soda.
don't ever buy a cream soda for 57 cents. Okay, it's not worth it.
And if you do, make sure you spend way more on the alcohol you put in the cream soda
Yes.
than you did on the cream
Cream
soda.
soda. Just-
I would be having a much better time if that were the case.
Right.
All right, guys. Hurry.
Okay.
If we're going in.
Hey, Keith, why don't you summon your elk to hold the door open? No, I'm just...
Or is it self-sustaining when I lift it to a certain point?
No, when you lift it, it retains its weight, so it's still
Okay.
trying to.
All right, guys.
How heavy does it feel?
This is pretty heavy.
What I do is I take my spare shield and then I brace it, like kind of like
Ah,
expectingly, like slap, like push it up against the edge of the doorway.
No,
It's
not
not
the
too
shield.
high,
No. Looking at craftsmanship.
We'll see.
No.
Okay.
Right. What if it snaps? We don't know. But
Yeah, I mean, if you want to use your shield to prop it open, you can. The shield does seem to hold its weight, though you're not sure for how long.
okay. Just gonna ease on through there.
Okay.
Take a look around carefully. Make sure there's no more traps, more guillotines.
So as you step over just kidding.
There's a
Uh,
secondary guillotine.
I get advantage on this dexterity save, right?
This robot made out of guillotines on the other side.
Oh. Hey, Atlas, I see your brother.
guillotines.
So Roland, the room is as you remember. You see the bookshelves, with the dust, with a few books missing, with the dust having been stirred where the books had been pulled out from the shelf. You see the various, scrolls of parchment and things sitting across the tops of the bookshelves. The the room contains like this orange flickering light that's kind of glistening across the stone that has kind of a damp texture to it or appearance to it. The stone floor and walls, kind of been masoned to be uniform or whatever. The table on the right hand side of the room with the various components and arms attached to it, with what appears to be some sort of headrest at the far end. The little stool, a green shimmering light from some kind of other mechanism or machinations that exist on a table on the far side of the room. And so this is what you see. You see all of this kind of.
Do I get a good sense that it's safe to enter?
Yeah, as far as you can tell, but you can make a perception check real quick also, if you would like to see.
15.
Okay, so as you're glancing around the room, there doesn't appear to be anything out of place. It almost seems as if the last time that Ulfney left the space, he left it in such a manner so as to make sure nobody would come in to disturb any of its contents. as you're kind of looking around the room, also, you don't note anything additional that would cause any issues as far as you guys being in the room or leaving the room. It all kind of seems to be fairly standard at this point.
Gotcha. I kind of give everyone the go ahead to come in if they want. Maybe suggest an Arcana check just to make sure there's no magical shenanigans at play.
Okay.
So
Yeah, go
I'll
for it.
be the first, if that's all right, to step through the doorway into the room.
Okay.
Tap him on the shoulder as he enters. Bahamut be with you and guidance.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you,
So I
Scott.
cast shield. Shield. Shield of faith.
Why is he
And,
getting all this stuff and I got nothing?
What
What the hell is that about?
Arcana check for 15.
Sons of a bitch.
So you do feel
I don't
that
know
some
if
of the
you're talking
crystalline machinations over the far end of the room are emitting some sort of magic. You get the feeling that perhaps some of the contents of the bookshelves contain some sort of magic, though it's not specific as to which book or scroll or whatever. So you do get a few senses of magical existence in the room, but nothing seemingly malicious.
See, it doesn't seem out of place as some magic books, but what are we looking for in here? Just to
I'm just trying to make sure it's safe. I mean, we just had a guillotine drop. I
Well,
assume
yeah, but
anyone coming in.
There was
So what are we? Well, I mean, but what are? It's obvious that Ulfney was gone. We knew he was leaving, right?
He's at Atlas's place as far as I'm confused as to where he is at this exact moment, but he was supposed to come here and then go back to Atlas's place.
I look
So-
back towards the doorway towards Atlas. Is Atlas? What? Scott?
Now, mention Roland thinking about that. Him mentioning needing to go back to his original warehouse. You're thinking of the warehouse in Berdusk, not the one that's here.
Yeah.
Like
that's-
he's
yeah,
talking
right.
about his primary.
Or desk.
Right.
Y'all made that known to
Oh.
everybody, didn't you? That's what he said he was
Gotcha,
doing.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so like, yeah, he should be on his way back to Berdusk, shouldn't he?
I didn't think he was leaving soon because I thought he had to get the stuff that Atlas and then the Atlas wanted and then help him look for his dog. I figured
So
that
I'm
was
pretty
the
sure he
place.
was building a portal in my room.
He could do that in a day or in a couple hours?
That's what I'm saying. Like he's probably still there working on it.
Okay. I don't know
Yeah,
anything
as
about
That's
far
why I
as
mentioned
protecting-
earlier. He's probably still at my house.
that. Okay.
So I would say we just leave stuff in here alone.
Oh yeah, I agree. But I was just saying, I thought we came here as a place just to hold up, or I mean, I guess maybe I'm unsure as to why we're here. Are we?
No,
Looking
I
for
don't want to
something?
hold up here. If I was
tipped
gonna
by
hold
the
up something-
DM.
Okay, gotcha. All right, just had to-
DM, can I examine any of the magical books and see if there's something there that?
Yeah,
looks
make an
remotely
investigation check.
suspicious? Okay. That's a 21 investigation.
Okay. So as you're kind of going through the books and scrolls and things, trying to pinpoint the exact location or which of the books, etc., are permeating some magical essence, you you note that there
Do I know cheese balls, DM? Do I?
No, I don't know. Is that considered fourth wall stuff? But
Is there a glass box?
See Scott eating cheese balls in the corners.
Is this a Waterdeep delicacy? I don't know. What this is.
you open one of the books. Ricard opens one of the books and sees this image of 7 people wearing these strange devices on their heads, all staring at these weird flat surfaces that.
Mm,
I was making a joke.
yeah.
Look at that Look at that ugly ginger guy.
No, as you're looking through the books or whatever, you come across one particular book or whatever, and it seems to have some kind of magical essence to it or whatever. And as you pop it open, you start flipping through the pages. Some of these seem to be schematics of an assortment of things. There are little devices, little trinkets and things of that nature. You note familiarity in some of it. One of the things that you note bear the appearance of the wind-up spiders that you guys had been presented before. And you kind of note some of the devices that you all recall having seen in his other larger warehouse. So as you're kind of flipping through the pages of this or whatever, you get the feeling that there is like a magical permeation of knowledge, where being in the presence of this book or reading it for so long would begin to allow you to absorb the knowledge of the book, seemingly with little effort.
I'm going to borrow the book.
Wow.
Oh,
Where
no.
are you going? Didn't you say not to touch anything just a minute ago?
I'm going to do so with stealth, DM.
Okay, make a stealth check.
Wait, you're reading the book stealthily, and I don't see you reading the book.
I mean, how long, DM? How long? What sort of period for reading? Like this is a long rest or a short rest sort of thing. Long rest, multiple days.
I think given the given the amount of knowledge in the book or whatever, it'd probably take a week or two to absorb everything that's in it.
A week.
That is a 17 stealth roll.
I'm gonna proceed. I'm gonna roll a perception.
Everybody can make perception check. Anybody who's in the room. So Roland, you can make a perception check. Did you guys follow him in at all?
So wait, are we rolling to see if we
Oh,
see
yeah.
him with the book, or just
Yeah.
that he's taking it and
That
like
he's
not putting it back? Okay. So I had to
I mean, I've been investigating the entire thing,
Right.
but I still only got a 6. Just, I guess that's because I'm paying attention to the bookshelf itself.
Yes.
I don't really give a shit if somebody else is reading.
Oh,
Just
So
being
yeah,
honest.
like, he's kind of like looking into the book or whatever, and as you're holding the book, you feel the tingling sensation of magical knowledge begin to permeate through the skin, and then Ricard's kind of like looking around the book, slowly sliding.
anyone find anything? I mean, you made the statement that we're not taking anything or not touching anything, correct? That was
I mean-
stated out loud.
Did I make that statement? No. I asked what we were here for.
No, but then you said you don't think we should touch anything.
You did
the
say
Arcana
that.
check.
Yeah, but then I had this urge to go look
So
for
I'm
myself.
like,
Do
Stumbling.
as I do, not as I. I mean, say not as I do. Yeah. That.
so I'm
God.
just.
Dot.
I mean, I would mention like, didn't you say not to touch anything? I'm not saying. I see
And
you
as
take
you
it.
say that,
I'm
you're
just like,
right. I just wanted to look. If stuff was messed with upstairs, do I see like where the dust was disturbed prior to me touching anything, DM? Like it looks pretty. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't look like stuff has been taken from here.
So with the 21, you note that there are a few slots where there are books missing, and it appears as if the dust in front of where the books were sitting originally have been disturbed, as if the books were dragged out, and not that long ago. So this feels like something that's been this, only been this way recently or whatever. Now, recently, being perhaps, maybe a week, maybe a couple of weeks. So you guys haven't been in Waterdeep very long, but it's definitely definitely something that's happened. Um,
Like, yeah, I
So-
just wanted to. I couldn't help. I'm just paranoid. I'm gonna walk over here. Like, honestly, paranoid. I'm gonna walk over here and look and find a Cult of the Dragon how to worship manual. Okay, but I don't see that here, right, DM?
Right. You don't see anything alluding to the idea that
So-
Alton has anything dealing with the cult, associating him to the cult. Nothing whatsoever.
I'm like, so I think I think we need to go and either rest for the night and give up pursuing where the High Lady may have gone, or we need to go follow through the passageway underground. I don't think there's anything else here that
Did we
I
check for
don't see anything
passageways?
that points to Ulfning having done anything. Yeah, so I found my pseudo dragon saw the passageway.
No,
In the house.
in here.
Oh, in here. DM, did we?
So you guys had not been looking for it specifically, but of the stuff that you have looked at and checked out so far, there's not been any sign that the passageway is attached to or leads into this room at all.
Could I look for it now that Skodrick's mentioned it?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, if you guys wanted to make another investigation check.
I have a 18 investigation.
So, given the location of the passageway itself, having seen it inside the building or whatever, and then given the layout or configuration of this basement space, you would note that this basement space does not cover the entirety of the bottom floor of the building. That it's about half the size of the floor of the building itself, right? As far as like the depth of the room goes. But you would know that if there were some sort of entrance into the passageway, that it would be on the wall opposite the door that you guys came in. So given that information, you begin to look over that wall. So you looking across the masoned stone work that is the configuration of the wall, whatever. Glancing over it, you see a couple of the stones have some moisture on them or whatever. A couple of the stones have some like this mossy buildup. It's like from the staleness of it being a basement, right? Outside of that, you don't see any stones or any signifying markers that would allude to there being passageway from this space into that passageway.
Okay. We don't see any way. At least I don't, Skodrick.
Okay. So
Okay.
the point of us coming here again was
Like, I don't
okay.
know.
I'm just gonna look around and make sure nothing was, I guess, disturbed since the last time I've been here. To see if anyone's been here, I guess. Since
Okay.
I'm making a perception of the room or something.
Do an investigation check.
Investigation.
So you're looking things over.
Oh wow. I don't get advantage
It
of
does
that.
not seem. It does not seem at all like anything has been disturbed.
Uh-huh.
You note the positioning of the arms attached to the table, and they seem to have been positioned just as they were when you guys left and followed Ulfney out the last time. You're
See if you
look,
found that book.
as you look over as you're looking over all the room, you look over the bookcases or whatever, and you see the various missing books, and note that the dust for those missing books, is disturbed just like it has been.
Okay.
And you look over the various machinations on the far wall of the room, and note like all the devices or whatever that exist there. Are still the same in the same configuration they were before. Everything is seemingly exactly as it was.
Okay.
I guess I'll get out a quill and some ink, I'm guessing, is in here. And I'll grab a sheet of paper. pretty much saying, writing on there, apologizes for the. Well, I guess I don't have to write anything. Maybe the trap just went off by itself, huh?
No, I mean, I think we should tell him we were in here.
I'd be courteous.
Yeah. We didn't touch anything that we know.
I mean, well, touch the book.
Did we see it?
I saw him touch the book. That's why I made
Yeah,
the
I'm
comment
like,
about him.
no, I touched the books.
We haven't seen him take it. I just know
Oh.
he touched the book and he was looking through one. But
Okay.
I don't think
I look at
we really
the
care.
We
card
talking
that
about things
Roland.
that you didn't see.
Yeah.
I look at Skodrick and I look at Atlas and I'm sitting here I'm like,
So
"Oh,
don't
who's that?
don't put that we didn't touch
Who we got
anything.
here?"
Okay.
I'm like,
Yeah, so
no,
just pretty much.
Exactly.
Doncasters had to seek refuge. Nothing was taken. We just needed somewhere to stay for a little while. Sorry for the inconvenience.
Are we staying here?
Well, no,
No.
I'm just writing it because the guillotine fell. I doubt we're putting that back.
Okay, and then just so I'm clear, are we going back to Atlas's house after this?
I'm going. I want to go down the tunnel.
You're trying to go to the other tunnel tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not going to sleep. Okay, gotcha.
I would like to
I'm
sleep.
charged
but
and ready to go, guys. Let's do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Atlas is definitely charged and ready to go.
so apparently Atlas is leading the way.
No, you got to do order of operations for us. We use the slowest person in front, so that way we're most efficient.
Okay. So you guys make your way back out of the room or whatever, and then relift the portcullis, pulling the shield out of it so that it's no longer braced open, lowering it to the ground. Roland, is your plan to relock the door after you guys leave?
Well, I mean, once the shield gets moved out of the way,
Right.
no one's getting in here anyway. Well, that's not true. People
No,
can
no,
move the
no,
door.
no, okay.
I mean, I could always lock again, I guess. Sure.
Okay.
Atlas, did you leave anything in here related to you at all? Do you remember?
Leave anything for me?
I don't know if you left anything for it, but I know you guys were talking about something. I'm not sure if you had a book or anything in there that was related to you or any kind of schematics or anything.
No, I don't think so. I know that he had an idea,
Wait,
but
we were in here. I'm trying to make sure that he didn't leave. Jesus, what's funny?
I actually don't even know what's funny at this point.
I'm trying to figure out what is. No, that was literally not in relation to the book. I don't know if Atlas is in the book. I thought this was a separate thing because I know when we were in here the first time, he did pull out a book or something, or he was looking for something.
He did. He was talking to Atlas about fitting him with some stuff.
Yeah. So I didn't know if he had if he pulled anything out when he did that, or if he just mentioned it offhand.
He was looking through some books, but I remember, he was also like, well, let me get back to you. I'd have to do some research again and figure out my thoughts. So
Okay.
So we got two choices. We can either go through the tunnel or go back to my place.
I mean,
I'm really worried about the High Lady.
worried or suspicious?
Worried.
Be honest.
Yeah.
Be honest. Insight check.
I said worried. I'm worried.
Wow, that's
I'm not even gonna roll.
Wow.
You had one in a row.
Why would you don't? I believe everything Scott.
Do I notice any?
Yeah.
Oh, Master Roland's inquiring about that. Do I see any body language?
Yeah.
In that?
Make a perception check, Kidron.
Yeah, I'd like to just look at Roland and go, Roland, I'm suspicious of everybody, and right this second, I want to go down the tunnel because I'm not sure.
I mean, as
Two
far as I
votes for
know,
the tunnel.
she's
Kidron,
been
you definitely.
pretty. Oh,
I vote.
go ahead.
I'm
I'm
tunnel.
sorry, Kidron, you
Perfect.
you definitely notice Roland's skepticism,
Obviously squinting at me.
but then acceptance.
Right.
So you see like the look of skepticism first, and then a look of acceptance.
I
Never
mean,
left you wrong.
I
feel
vote
like-
to wherever party goes. Honestly, we're already here. So
Ricard,
just-
you said what you said in character, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I literally
Okay.
that's why I said I looked at you and said that.
Okay, so
At the very least, I would like
we-
to go remove that pyramid from upstairs.
sure.
That way, there's not a powerful magic item left in this unlocked house.
see, that's the only thing I came in here for.
A powerful pyramid.
The
Was it pyramids to be removed? Yes.
the question I have, this is kind of out of character. We did vet her, right? We asked her questions when we first
Oh yeah.
were on the way
Yeah,
up here.
yeah.
Like we did the Wand of Secrets. Did we do that or no?
No, we never wanted
Mm,
secrets her.
We never wanted a secret.
Damn it! We did it to Trollum,
Yeah.
but not the highlight.
Ricard stick up.
I
For her
would
the
not
whole
have
time.
questioned her.
Or
Yeah.
I would not have questioned her. Out of it was out of
okay.
character. Ricardo
Right.
would not have questioned her.
see, I'm suspicious, but also her actions don't make any sense. So like, why would she go through the process of faking Ricard's death and then not killing us, letting us out of jail, if she was actually trying to betray us?
Just trying
But
to
then
use
why
us.
wouldn't she tell us that she was leaving and going into a secret underground cavern?
It could go to
like,
the
right,
harbor.
that-
We need answers. We have two ways to get
apologize, yeah,
answers. We
we're-
can go to Ulfney or
We're
try to
discussing
find her.
early-
I mean, you're going to
say-
open, but
discussing right
why
now.
would she have told him anything about this? There's some.
They seem pretty close from what I
Sure.
gathered.
Sure. I mean,
But the assumption
how
you
far
could,
away is? Oh,
given that her hideout sat on top of one of Ulfney's shops, kind of gives you guys the idea that they have a very good relationship. Like,
oh no!
You trust them
what does
very-
that
What do
mean?
you think?
Inside
Yeah.
check.
very good.
Inside check the DM.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
what?
So let's go talk. Okay. I'll
How
look at
far away is
Skyler.
Atlas's house from here?
We're going to the tunnel. I vote tunnel.
Look
Scott,
at Master
Just
Card.
go in the damn tunnel.
Say,
Atlas. How far is Atlas's house from here?
Yeah.
So you guys are currently on the corner of Tharleon and the Street of Silks, and Atlas's home is over. Let me go back to my notes and look at my notes.
look to Master Ricard and say, if you'd like to.
Now you're going to Alice's home, or you're going to, I guess
Yeah,
you're
we'll
going to
join
his
you.
home.
Wait,
no.
what was the question? I'm sorry.
Uh,
DM was asking if we're going to whose home? Atlas's or who
he
else?
was asking where
Oh,
we're asking how far Atlas' home was, but
Yeah, I'm coming
Kendra,
up.
what
with
were you
my-
saying? I couldn't understand anything of what you said.
That I would join you. Sorry.
To go
I
get
would
the
join you.
pyramid.
I said now if you would like the pyramid, there's to get the pyramid, now would be the time, and that I would join you. I'm going to be joining you.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm going up too. I'm going in there.
you guys know what that thing does or no?
On the trades board.
It transforms the room.
I don't.
I know it transforms the room.
Okay.
So you gotta be very careful. We
Okay.
might lock ourselves in.
Did you share that?
Oh,
yeah, you did.
Okay,
I
so
look at
home is
Skodrick and
on-
I go, I would like to go down the tunnel as well. My worry is that we're half spent on
I
high level
Completely hear
spells,
you.
if not all.
Correct.
It's going to be a risk.
yeah. So I'm trying to think of the
Everblade.
best
How does it-
Kedron,
possible
how are you?
outcome.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was thinking the best possible outcome. We go down there, we follow it, and it ends up at the Harpers.
Worst
She learned-
possible outcome.
Trap.
We
It's
could
a
be
trap.
right under the
Dragon
alchemy
Colt's-
shop for all I know.
And Dragon Colt's nest is the worst
Yep.
case.
Also, if she was going to betray us, she could have just told them we were coming to the.
She could have,
She could have told. She could have told them that
or
we were going there, and
did
then
she?
no, because it was the other guy said that there was an alarm that went off. Now I don't know how much I can trust him. He's dead now. It doesn't matter. But seemingly no reason to lie. At that rate, he thought he was going to kill us or we were going to die. So there's no reason to kind of keep up the ruse if he's under the assumption that we're about to get killed, like in a few minutes. So I'm less inclined to believe that she just outright betrayed us. She might have other intentions, but I don't know what those are.
We want answers. That tunnel is
take
going to
a-
give us some.
I take a bow to Master Roland. I say the world of espionage, I leave up to you.
Oh no, I'm not.
For me, not to question.
I say, all right, Kidman, let's go in and get the pyramid and go down the tunnel then. And I start walking towards the door.
I'm right behind them.
Follow. Yep,
Okay.
I follow suit.
Um,
I draw my shield, my actual shield.
So you guys recall that Atlas's house is on Shore Street in the Trades Ward, so it's probably a 10 to 15 minute either cart or rickshaw ride from where you guys are. So
It's fairly close-ish
Right. It's
to
close-ish.
actually to my shop.
Right.
Closer to it than where we're at now. Is that right, DM?
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So again, two options. We can still come back here and go in the tunnel, or we can wait a day, or however long a long rest is, or whatever. Try to come back here, go to the tunnel, see where it leads. I mean, she's got hours. She's hours ahead of us at this point. So even if we go somewhere and it's the Harper's headquarters, she could be long gone from there.
If it's a Harper's headquarters, we know it's not Dragon Cult.
Doesn't mean she's not involved with the Dragon Cult. She could.
If it goes to the Harper's,
I think it's another discussion.
I mean, that just means she's gone to the Harper's, and then she can easily go somewhere else after that. I mean, there's no reason for her. You see what I'm saying? Like, if just because it leads to a location doesn't mean that we're to assume she's not guilty.
I couldn't quite hear you.
Can't hear me?
no, Siri.
No, it's not
yeah,
that.
I don't know. She's the whole time. But no, like it can lead to the Harper's headquarters, and I mean, yeah,
DM,
that's
do
great.
I know where the Harper's headquarters is? I shouldn't I?
You would also have an idea, but make a history check.
Okay.
Not one.
That's a 11 history check.
Okay, so that's not bad. And yeah, you kind of have the same idea that Atlas does, where
Oh, okay.
given the information that you have or whatever, and your your desire to be a part of that or whatever, and some of the study that you've done, you could probably narrow it down to like 2 or 3 blocks, potentially, of where the place would be. Now, what you guys do know is that this is not near that location. So where you guys are now is not near where the Harper's headquarters would be.
Is the
Where
Harper
is
headquarters
it?
to the east?
So the Harper's headquarters would be somewhere located in the North Ward. And you guys are in the Castle Ward.
All we can see from the tunnels that it heads east.
Right.
Is there anything east of here that is like a major facility that's politically connected to her that we know of?
Within these couple of blocks or whatever, there doesn't. You don't recall of anyone.
DM?
Yes.
We remember the I have it written down in my notes. It's going to take me a minute to find it. The
The
place
Alchemist?
that was supposed to be, yeah.
Two Moons Cove.
I was going to say, do I know where that is located at?
I was
So
just
you
about to
guys-
ask that.
you guys did get that information, if you recall, having brought that one particular dragon cultist back from the dead or whatever, to ask him the questions or whatever. And he essentially told you the general location of Dragon's Cove.
2 Moons Cove.
Yeah.
Where was that at?
You don't recall him having mentioned the Castle Ward specifically. So let me go back.
Could I do a history check to see if
Yeah.
I recognize the name?
Absolutely.
It was a 23 history check on that specifically.
Super history check.
Oh yeah, they were cool,
Ride or die.
but
July.
they like the Dragon Cult.
Give me just a second. 2 Moons Cove, right? Okay, so thinking about 2 Moons Cove or whatever, with your history check, right? You recall that 2 Moons Cove is actually in the market area where the market is, up to so the market being connected to like the sea and the North Ward. So at the southern point where those wards meet, like the sea, the North Ward, and then the Castle Ward or whatever. So you recall 2 Moons Cove being in that area, not in the primary market area, because obviously that would bring a little too much attention, but just to the west of that.
Okay.
That's awfully close to where we're at.
Is it to the east of
I'm
where we're
literally
at?
saying that out loud.
Right.
Yeah.
Ricard, is that the direction it might have
Yeah.
been? The tunnel might be going when you look through it.
DM, did it kind of?
So the tunnel seems to appear to go eastward, where 2
Okay.
Moons Cove would be northwest of where you guys are.
Okay.
So no.
Right.
Okay. So we have no idea what's happening right now.
We have
okay.
no idea what's happening
No,
right
we
now.
have
Let's-
no idea.
I have no problem going back to Atlas's house, talking to Ofni, seeing if he knows anything, and then making a decision after that. If Scotch gets the spells back, he can just messenger, and maybe she can explain herself in a message.
It's
Maybe
got a
we can
point,
meet up somewhere.
but we
I
do
think
got to
that's
get that
safer.
pyramid.
Yeah, I would still us go try and retrieve the pyramid. It
Oh,
may
sure.
not be movable. That may be why they didn't take it. But I do agree, Roland. The safest thing to do would be not to go down that tunnel right now, but to speak to Ulfni and possibly rest for the night.
Man, I just don't want to get Atlas's family. Try to talk about Atlas without Atlas realizing it. I don't
Well,
want
I
to get
mean-
his family in danger after what we
Well,
just did.
she already knows about his family, though, right?
Ulfni's living there, right?
Yeah,
So
like she already knows
they're
about
involved.
Well, after tonight,
They knew the risk that they'd be taking when they decided to let him stay at my house.
Okay.
The only thing I ask you guys is if we go, of course we go in a manner of stealth.
that. Uh-huh.
Maybe not blow up any buildings on the way.
Okay. See, that was a distraction. It turned into an act of resistance, apparently. But
Mr. Roland apologizes.
I'm not going to
Well, we're going
apologize.
to your house to speak to a friend, not to infiltrate an enemy's lair. So,
Unless they're already there.
unless
I would just be like,
you're an enemy, Atlas.
fuck this city.
Well, here's the rule: no wands, in the house.
What? Oh, okay. No, I can't. I should be able to bring the wand of secrets. That's harmless.
Harmless.
Okay, here, you want to hold the
For-
wand,
for-
Atlas?
Yeah, I already know about your ability. Don't worry about it.
Okay, then it doesn't,
Don't fall for
matter
that
where the
shit.
wand is, Atlas.
Yeah, just put
Yeah.
it back in your pocket. I'm saying just don't take it out. You don't have to put it in the cart or anything.
I have no
Hand on Master Ricard's shoulder, and I walk up the stairs or walk towards that pyramid.
Yeah,
Where the pyramid is.
I follow behind Kidman.
Okay.
We're going inside, going upstairs, and checking on the pyramid.
Okay. So you guys make your way into the building through the front door, and then up the stairs into the room where you had met with the High Lady previously. And you walk over to the table or whatever, and as you reach out to grab the
Question?
Yeah.
Can I Arcana check to see?
Sure.
Because I know I've been there when it was activated, but I don't necessarily think I know how it's activated, or that it, all that stuff. Could I see
Sure.
if it's movable and just look at it before we just grab a hold of it?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Arcana check is a 18.
Okay.
And I would like
yeah,
to check the room. That's okay.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Make a perception check.
Perception.
So, Ricard, as you're investigating, kind of checking out the pyramid or whatever, and reaching out with your magical innate sense or whatever, you get the feeling that it still holds its magical properties, and you recall having seen the High Lady activate it previously. The second time you guys met with her, the room was not had not been disguised or whatever. And though you didn't necessarily see the specific movements that she made across the surface of the pyramid to activate it, you do kind of get the general idea, and feel that with enough practice or with enough trial and error, and given enough time, you would be able to figure out how to reactivate it. There seemingly doesn't appear to be any kind of traps or anything holding it to the table. It does appear pretty heavy. Outside of that, you see the runes inscribed on the surface that you know to have been runes that were there before. They don't give you any kind of sense of being dangerous at all. So, Kidron, as you're kind of checking out the room, you see that it is as Ricard had described when he sent his pseudo dragon in there. There are still some things that are left in it. There are a few things that still seem to be of value, though some of what you recall having been there has been taken. Not everything has. It's almost as if someone was clearing out the room and then there was some sort of interruption. So Ricard, after having made the discovery, or having noted that there isn't anything particular about why the pyramid still exists on the table, other than just the fact that it wasn't taken, I imagine that you would now pick it up or whatever.
Yeah, could we pick it up
pick
and will it fit in the bag of holding?
Yeah, absolutely. As you pick it up, you discover beneath it a folded piece of parchment.
What does the piece of okay, what does it say?
You unfold
Master
the piece
Ricard
of parchment, and as you're looking it over, whatever, you see writing that you recognize on the parchment itself, or whatever, being the inscription or the handwriting of the High Lady herself. And at the bottom of the parchment is written, signed, the High Lady. And that is where we will end our session for tonight.
I just want to establish that we just wasted, I don't know, maybe 2 hours investigating all of this, and that note was underneath that damn pyramid the whole time.
I look, I'm out of character. I got a magic book. I'm fine.
This guy. This guy. For the record, DM, can you tell us what that book actually is, or is it just like a book of schematics? Is it like a special kind of book, or is it a magic item?
You'll find out.
Okay, that's fair. Totally fair.
Boy.
I have some of Ulfany's notes down,
Hmm.
so I'm gonna pull it out and I'll let you guys know.
It might be good or bad.
Yeah. Yes.
Cool. All right, guys. Well,
Battle Cry coming at you live.
for those, yeah,
Yeah.
for those of you who have joined us on the Twitch stream tonight, thank you guys so much for jumping in and watching. So again, thanks, Mom and Dad, for checking us out or whatever.
Thanks for
And-
spin our wheels for.
Yeah, right. What is it? 3 hours of
Thank you, Mike.
investigating, perception checking,
Oh God.
discussing, a little bit of travel in there. But I know it was kind of a eventless night, but exciting things are to take place. So be sure to check us out again, like and subscribe, all of that good stuff. Check us out on YouTube. We post videos. We do some video gaming throughout the week. A lot of our guys stream regularly, and we're definitely raising in our production value a little bit, working on some things. So there are definitely some exciting things coming in the future. So definitely keep an eye on us. We're not big now, but we're definitely headed that way. So thanks, and it's all thanks to you guys, all of our viewers. We appreciate every time you guys pop in. You know, everything every time that you guys want to, reach out and engage, and we'll try and get back to you guys. If you all have questions, comments, whatever, you can check out our Facebook page, post some comments, whatever. We would love to interact, let you guys know what's going on. We're going to work on getting a schedule together. We're working on getting some things together so we can do some handouts later, some giveaways or whatever. Maybe do a little bit of D&D trivia for that. If you guys have any suggestions about what you would like to see, or things you don't see now, things that we could improve on, or I know we know some of this already.
Oh,
Constructive criticism is what we're looking for.
there you go.
Not critical criticism. So shoot some constructive criticism our way. Don't be afraid to reach out. We're having a blast with it. We hope you guys are too. And just let us know. Let us know.
Yeah, we got a couple new followers today. I'd like to shout them out. Kinsey Leclerc 14.
Thank you, Kinsey Claire 14.
Thank
for
you.
joining.
Sounds like a Keegan wife.
All right.
Alright,
Keegan
and
wife.
we also Halo Baby followed us today.
Well,
Oh,
hey,
fantastic.
Thank you.
thanks for following us today. We appreciate it.
And yeah, thanks everybody. We'll see y'all next time.
For
Think
sure.
about it.
Peace.
Next time it is. Peace.
Bye.